Hello everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives. Tonight we're going to be playing Werewolf, the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition. I'm your hostess Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle on the boards, and I will be playing Atna Tin, a lupus, I'm going to go with I'm an Uktana Fersh. And our host tonight, my co-host tonight, as usual, is Brandon Powers. He will be our GM.
Howdy.
And with us tonight, we have Alexander E. What are you playing, Alex?
I have the trash of the trash, the Metis Ragabosh Bone Gnawer, named Will Wallow.
Okay. And with us tonight also is our friend Jacob Blackman, who is a fantastic artist. Commission him if you need work. What are you playing, Jacob?
Tonight I am playing Horace Pharaoh, a Hamud Arun of the Silent Striders.
Woohoo! So, Brandon, why don't you get us rolling?
Alright, so in chat I just linked something to reference you can spend on what you can spend rage on. That's just straight out of the book. You can use it to take extra actions, change forms, ignore stunning, ignore pain, and then there's some extra limitations on how those things work. One thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's a little different in White Wolf games than in a lot of games, is the way that you can take extra actions. So when we go to initiative, we're going to take a D10. Speaking of which, I need to go find dice. You're going to roll a single D10. Unlike all other rolls, this is not going to be a success kind of thing. This is going to be just look at that D10 and what?
Jacob was showing his box top of
I'm using a box top for Clank for rolling my dice.
Gotcha. You're going to just take that D10 and roll it. So if you rolled a 7 on the D10, you would take 7 and then add your dexterity score and your wit score to it. So Alex, what's your dex and wits?
My dex is 3 and my wits is 4.
Okay, so if you rolled a 7 on your die, you would then have an initiative of 14. The way that we do this is, let's say Jacob is super slow, probably not true, but he ends up at like a 6 on his initiative. So Jacob is slower than you. This means that he is going to have to declare his action. In this example, only the two of you are involved. He will have to declare what he is going to do. Then we're going to go to you, Alex, who, since you're the highest initiative, you don't need to make a declaration. You just get to do something. And so you take your action, and Jacob is affected by it or whatever it does, and then we'll go back and he gets to do his declared action. He is able to abort to a different action, which does have a penalty if that comes up, or when that comes up. I'm going to have to look up what the specific penalty is again, because it has been a long time. Alice, we really need to find where my dice actually are.
Yeah.
We've seen them since we moved, but all of a sudden I cannot find my bag, and it's been horribly annoying. So that's the first thing. However, if you're like, and now we're going to go to Jacob, because I'm assuming he's going to be good in combat. As you see,
I hope so.
As you can see in Rage, you can use it to take extra actions. During your normal non-rage spent action, though, you can split your action. You can do multiple things. Theoretically, this is going to be what you're going to want to do if you're good at something, not if you're bad at something. Let's say Jacob says, I want to attack this guy 3 times. He will go ahead and assemble his dice pool, and I think he's a weapons guy, so he's going to take his dexterity plus his melee score and add those together. Let's say he's got a total of 9. He's awesome in it. He will say, I'm going to take 3 actions, and so he is going to suck out 3 dice from that pool, and that leaves him with 6 dice. That's the 3 is because he's taking 3 actions. He rolls the 6 dice on his first action and resolves that. That action goes off normally. Then for his second action, he takes off an additional die, and so now he's down to 5 dice, and he throws that. And then for the third action, he takes out an additional die and throws 4 dice. I think that I've got that right. And so that's a way that you can accomplish multiple things in a round. If you're trying to do two different things, like a lot of role-playing games have the example of juggle while balancing on a log, or fight while balancing on a log, then you're going to look at these, and your dice pool is going to be restricted to the lower of the two different actions that you are taking. So whichever action that you are worse at, you're going to go with. The ability to spend rage is going to be very Shadowrunny in the way that works, is that the combat round, we will go through it, and then everybody who has spent any rage for an extra action, we're going to go through that combat round again. New declarations and all that. But that just because you spend rage doesn't mean you get to act 6 times before anybody else gets to do something. Do you guys follow those two things?
Yep.
Yes.
Pretty sure I do.
Sure.
Awesome. And everybody had the book, so for close combat, what page? Page 298, they give you some different maneuvers that you can use. So like biting and clawing are different than each other. And they go on, they include dirty fighting, body slams, that kind of stuff, as well as pack tactics, which I think somebody might have taken some benefit with.
Let me double check. I've been
I
making a
don't
lot of
think
characters
so.
lately. Nope, I don't have
Oh, I just remember pack tactics, we
did teamwork
briefly touched on it.
Well, we did teamwork for my Mutants and Masterminds character that I generated the other night live. So.
Gotcha. We have way too many percentile dice and not enough d10s. Not that the the percentile don't work, but it's just plenty easier to use a standard d10.
Mm-hmm.
So, give me just a minute to fish out a couple more of these, as I am wading through the spoils of our Chessex cup of dice from years and years gone by. And
Awesome.
There's been more than a few cups that have gone into forming this bucket.
Well, while you do that, why don't we give a little more of an introduction of character descriptions and whatnot. I'll start on my upper left-hand corner. Jacob, why don't you describe your character?
Oh, Horus Pharaoh, originally Hamid, being human, grew up in the Middle East, in Egypt, and he eventually joined the armed forces. Served as a soldier. Later on, discovering his true path of being a werewolf. Soon afterwards, left the military life and became a mercenary, effectively being a soldier for the Silent Striders, going where they required him to be, and taking care of dangerous threats to Gaia and and taking out the worm spawn wherever they were needed to be destroyed.
Cool. Alex, what about
Well, that
you?
might be the future for you right now. You guys are very young to this world.
Ah, young pup.
Yep, exactly.
So, what do you look like, Jacob?
My character, were this to be a movie or television show, would look like Oded Fair as he appeared in the 1999 Mummy film. And he is armed with his father's clave, a powerful silver dagger fetish that has been passed down in his bloodline.
Awesome. Alex, what about you? Quick description, physically and otherwise?
So, Will, being a Metis, was kind of a unwanted child, and I guess, thankfully, I guess being born of the Bonars and born of the Ragavash, they're a little more accepting of his kind, but still pretty much a street kind of kid who, was more or less abandoned by his actual parents and kind of just making it by on his own. I guess since we're not quite as old. I was thinking his description was basically the fat Lebowski Thor with psoriasis. It definitely has some skin conditions there. But yeah, that kind of homeless, dumpy, kind of unkempt kind of look.
Okay. For me, again, I'm playing Atna Tin. She is a Native American. She was born a timber wolf and in the Alaskan wilds. The humans that she's interacted with are all of her Native American tribe. She in human form she's got long brown hair and a lot of it is tied up in along with feathers and little fetishes of different sorts to um, mark different aspects of life and such like that. She Yeah, she's a Alaskan Native American. That's the short word. Brandon, go ahead. You're up.
I believe that she's a timber wolf who simply some of the time looks like an Alaskan.
True. I'm a timber wolf. I'm a timber wolf first.
So the group of you have been introduced to each other and have been kind of that loosely not a pack at this point, but loosely brought together. I have a single page of simple notes that are totally not at my keyboard. They're not really things that I need, but they were notes that I made, so I figure I might as well get them. You guys, since Alice said that she was, and she was the first one who talked about this back when we were making characters out in the Alaskan wilderness, and so that is actually exactly where you guys are, because Alice made some sort of comment about fighting fires out there. And so you guys
Wildfires are destroying everything. It's a sign of the worm.
That is exactly correct. The three of you are being have trekked through the wilderness together on a mission to the cairn of the Long Night. This is one of the furthest western cairns in all of Alaska, and a place where the grew back when the Wendigo tribe was far more populous. Would go to basically wish the sun a final farewell before the long night would descend upon the land, plunging into a winter that would last for months, where seeing the sun would be a very rare occurrence during it. And so it is these days a far smaller cairn, a cairn being a mystical site where the werewolves gather. It used to be an important one, and still periodically will have an important ritual associated with it of that same saying goodbye to the sun as winter descends upon the land. You guys, I say mission, but it was more like that you guys were supposed to go and
team
visit
bonding exercise?
different cairns and such together to learn of ways.
Team building exercise.
Basically, you guys aren't really a pack at this time. There often aren't a whole lot of young pups that come up together, and so the obvious plan is that Will Wallows can see is that the group of you are going to be a pack. Alex, your character might not have the most in the lore of the group in Guru Society. I'm not certain who's got the most. You've been exposed to it far more because you grew up in it. So while you are going to be somewhat young because metas age very quickly in comparison, just like the lupus is very young. Jacob's really old compared to you guys in years.
Jacob's
you've
an old
just
man. Got it.
Exactly. That you have been exposed to this.
I'm 29!
You're gonna die soon, aren't you?
I'm 4, okay? 4!
But you've just grown up around werewolf society as a very shunned member of it. But you're a little bit more exposed to things, whether or not your specific knowledges are representing that. So you guys have journeyed through to get to the cairn of the Long Night, and during this journey, wildfires have begun to ravage through parts of the Alaskan wilderness. It has been concerning to you guys, as you guys have heard reports occasionally about this. I don't know if you guys have been hoofing it, or probably which is what Atna likes the most, or if you guys have some sort of other transportation. Has anybody got what's our wealth levels?
I have nothing put into resources or anything like that, so I'm pretty much base level.
Awesome.
I don't need it. What do I need with wealth and resources? I linked you my latest version, Brandon, because I did drop my animal ken and stealth down to 1 and brought my survival to 3.
Links don't help. Printed versions are awesome.
Okay. Cool.
So yes, you guys
have no resources, but I can make a broken car work for a while.
How long is a while there, Alex?
If I push a willpower, a day.
A day? That's not bad. So you guys probably for maybe a little while used Will Wallows in scrounging a broken car, which you guys were avoiding law enforcement since you were probably just riding on the spokes of the vehicle rather than riding on the rims of the vehicle rather than having any tires or anything like that. But it did get you through places at times. But to get to the cairn itself, it's definitely a bit of a backpack in.
Well, I get to nap in the car and then I get to walk. So sounds like I'm just gonna nap in the car when he's driving, but otherwise I'll be walking.
Sorry, the car smells.
Okay, I'll just be walking.
That's me.
I'll just be walking.
I don't think we're going to be riding in a car that smells, considering all of our acute senses.
Yeah, I have extremely acute senses. I'm walking, Brandon, just stating. I cannot ride with him.
All right. So, Will, you offer, when you guys find a broke down car that you could make it run again and all, but they don't seem to like that idea.
No.
No.
By the way, if you do smell, you'll notice that I'm always putting, Jacob, what's your character's name?
He introduces himself as Pharaoh.
Okay. Pharaoh, I'm going to always make sure Pharaoh's between you and me. And Alex, what's your character's name?
Will.
Okay.
I do have an animal musk as a flaw. It's on my sheet.
Okay. I will always be trying to keep you downwind of me. I'm going to be upwind and therefore blowing everything away from me. I'm going to make a very strong attempt at that.
Well, what does Animal Musk do there, Alex?
Let me find it.
I believe he also took that unattractive one that says that he tastes awful too.
Well, are you tasting him?
No.
So, Alice, he has the odor of an animal.
Oh, if he has the odor of an animal, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's something that you, and it's specifically noticed, wolves and lupus-born guru will take little notice of this flaw, and in fact are likely a little comforted by that smell, especially since you always get it.
Yeah, so
it's pretty much just annoying to people, like he smells like wet dog all the time.
Yeah. And, so for Pharaoh, who has grown up with a different set of beliefs, a different set of just training and all, senses that, it's probably off-putting to him.
Yeah, if he just smells like a dog, I'm fine with that. I smell like a dog. I don't smell like a wet dog. I smell like a dog. He smells like a wet dog, so he smells a little worse than me, but not a big deal. But I have very acute senses. Oh, but Brandon, you know what? If we ever lose Will, apparently I'll find him real easy because I've got alertness with specialty in sense. So with the trail he leaves, I'll have no problem finding him again.
So
Great to know. Can't get lost. I
can't
guess
easily
that
leave
means
them.
if they're not around, that means they left on purpose.
Are you a little used to that, Will?
You know it.
Aye. Cool, Alice. I've got your sheet
Cool.
as well. I just like to have them as reference. You didn't print out Jacob's when I asked for it.
I will go find Jacob's. I will go
Aye.
search for it.
So on your trek here, is there anything that you guys wanted to do?
Well, you said that the fires are starting up. How far are they from us? Where are they exactly?
You guys have not seen the fires, though you have definitely seen smoke.
Okay.
That even though you are closer to the coast than the fires are, because you guys are basically right on the rocky shores, that the smoke is definitely filling the air and such, and so you've seen plenty of evidence of it.
Okay. I would basically just keep an eye out because, wildfires and wolves, it makes me uncomfortable. So I want to be making certain I keep an eye out, aware of the situation there as we are heading this way. But
Yeah, Pharaoh's just enjoying all the natural splendor.
Very different from the world that you grew up in, and probably more than a little bit cold to you. And Will, what about you? Anything that you specifically wanted to do?
Can I get a broken phone or laptop to work to see any news reports about the fire?
Oh, by all means. Periodically you could have gotten, a phone to work for a while.
when you start doing that, I start sniffing at it. Ugh, it smells awful. Smelling the technology and smelling the ozone on it. What are you
Hey, I
doing
got
with
it
that?
out of the trash can.
What are you doing with that?
Seeing what people are doing about the fight.
How would you do that with a tool of the worm?
It is a means of communication. It is standard across the world.
How does that work?
They use electronic signals to send information from one place to another instantaneously.
That doesn't make sense. You can't do that.
It is modern technology. It is what it is.
Why would you have the trappings of the worm with you, Will?
I found it.
Well, I find my... Never mind, bad analogy. But, okay.
This particular technology is neither good nor evil. It is how one uses a tool. Like anything else.
I can use a tool. I pick up a rock and start smashing it against something else. See? This is a tool. That I don't know what that is. Oh, would smashing this on that help fix it, Will? Offer you a rock.
But
No.
soon enough they'll have pretty much the same function.
And you can, when you use your gift on things, you can reuse it later on the same thing, right? It doesn't permanently, explodes it or anything.
Didn't seem to say anything about that. So.
That's what I thought. So, that was my memory of it from last week. So yes, you can see that there's a growing concern of fire, that there are fires raging through lots of parts of the far northern hemisphere, the Arctic Circle, at this point in the year, and that the firefighters and such are being brought to handle the situation, but large sections of wilderness, they are saying that there's no way that they could combat the fires, and so that they're just being left to burn. That's what you're able to find on your phone.
Fire.
Well, I hope they enjoy no longer breathing. Stupid humans.
Well, we're gonna have to be careful. I mean, we won't be able to breathe either if it gets too close to us.
Maybe we should look for gas masks in the next junkyard.
Gas masks? What are those?
They will help us breathe through the smoke if the smoke becomes too dense.
Sounds like magic.
In a way.
I didn't know Will was a shaman. They didn't tell me that. Is that why you look that way? Are you a shaman? Are you cursed by the spirits?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Anyone know how far it is to the cairn from here?
Brandon, do I know how far we have left?
You guys are, this is like I say before, so you guys are getting close at this point. And I was just asking anything that people wanted to do prior to. And so Will's just keeping up with, news every once in a while.
Yep. I'd like to roll my things werewolves shouldn't know and figure out what kind of enigma this weird contraption he is using and why it works when he's making it work.
It seems to be a Ragabash trick to you.
Okay. That's what I figured. Just a Ragabash trick. Got it.
Okay. So, you guys do, after days of journeying, you guys do come across this, the cairn. It's out on a small spit of land of just a rocky shoreline, waves lapping at the rocks, and then at the end part of that spit of land is probably submerged at high tide, but out where the cairn itself is a bit bigger of a stretch, a piece of land, and there's soil there, and so there's trees that are growing and such. But it is out deep in the wilderness that you guys have nothing technological to really find. And Will every once in a while brings up GPS to confirm that you guys are on the right spot when he's checking his phone. And Alice, that part probably does, interest you, is that he's got a better idea of where you guys are than you might think.
How do you do
when
that?
he looks at those.
How do you do that, great shaman? Can you teach me that? I mean, I'm really good at finding my way around, but you seem to be better at it. That's really weird. Do the spirits talk to you or something?
They do, but it's not that. People magic.
Oh.
People magic.
More of the one.
So you guys come to the cairn, and the trees you guys all notice are windblown, so they're growing a lot more sideways than they are growing up. You go out, and it's not, I say it's a bigger stretch of land where there's soil, but it's not a very large area. And as you guys come out there, Alice, you are getting that scent of the fresh air off of the coastline. It is bracingly cold to you guys. Alice, that's probably normal to you, but the other two of you think that it is very, very frigid out here. And the cairn itself is a fairly small one. That the it's only really maintained because of its cultural significance to the Wendigo tribe out here. Um, as you guys approach, you see a individual that has a limp, seems to have a dead leg, basically, coming towards you. They are dressed in a heavy cloak, heavy coat, and basically winter wear and such. And he looks like a fairly young man, probably about 20. Jacob, you might think to the others of you, looks like a full grown but still young human. And he calls out to you and goes, "What's going on? We don't see people out here all that often." His skin is dark, and he looks like one of the native people, similar to the culture that Atna seems to be from.
If I'm trekking long distance, I'm probably in wolf form right now, so I'd probably be a wolf right now, timber wolf.
Okay.
And so I'm just gonna howl and bark at the guy. Oh, I can't howl. I can't howl.
I bet you could.
But
I'm sure you can if you're given a try.
No,
you're not transmitting.
I know I wasn't transmitting. Anyways, I'm gonna howl and I'm gonna bark at the guy. I can bark.
Pharaoh pats Atna's head. Good day. We're looking for the Cairn of Long Night.
I sniff the guy. I do all the dog things of smelling the guy, and as I'm approaching, and
Sure, you can go ahead and roll your perception alertness.
Sure. So my alert, it is scent based, so I'll get a bonus die, I believe, for
No,
tens explode. Tens are 2.
Well, tens are 2. Tens normally do explode already.
Okay.
But if you have a specialization, tens also count as 2 dice.
Great.
The cairn, we weren't expecting people. And he looks the 3 of you up and down, and turns towards Jacob, since you're the one that's speaking. They called me Soft Paw. We have a little bit to warm up with. You're all welcome to it. Alice, what'd you get?
I believe the TN is 8 up these days, right?
The TN is a scaling. This is a normal, so it's a 6.
Okay, 6. Then I have 5 successes.
5 successes. The man smells. He obviously has some of the smell of a man on him, but you get a strong scent of what you've learned to be sterno, or other things that men use to make fire, where they're not trying to burn the natural world.
Okay.
There's also a strong smell of coffee on him, but underneath that you can smell some of the wolf there.
Okay, so I smell wolf. At that point, I will start shifting out into human form.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Softpaw. I am Pharaoh. This is Atna and Will.
So,
Good greeting.
Good to see you. Are any of you, I heard general descriptions, big, small?
I'm relatively small when I'm human.
Okay.
I did not take the small negative in the end, but I'm relatively small-ish. And but yeah, when I'm finally when I shift out into human, I say, "Greetings, Elder."
And I'm going to be nice and say that each of you has a bound set of clothes to you. It would be Alice. You're the only one that really has winter clothes bound to you. So the other 2, before you go shifting around, might want to ditch your coats.
Yeah.
Lest you tear out of them. You can have a reasonable coat, but Alaskan wilderness coat, not bound to you.
Well, they can also pass it to me, and I can put it in my magpie swag, which will form shapeshift me. because I've got a bag of holding that shapeshifts with me.
Me too.
Delightful.
That's where I keep my broken junk.
So, but yeah, I will say greetings, Elder.
Elder. We must have your eyes checked. I am no elder. He looks at the three of you. I would think that I'm similar to you, but unlike the group of you, and he smacks his bad leg. I'm not fit to travel much. No, old Silver is the elder here. It's just the two of us, and he's hobbling back in. And you guys can see that there's a couple of tents set up and campfire and such. They're set up in a clearing in the middle. And those of you who have rituals identify that this would be, the place that does look like it would be the cairn itself. That the land around the cairn is basically non-existent.
I do have rituals, as I am a
Yep.
Therge.
Yeah, I think you and Alex had them. I don't know if Jacob had any.
I will follow
Not
him.
at all.
You will follow him?
Yeah, I will follow him.
Right. And he limps over, and as you guys are moving, you see curled up in the tent is a wolf sleeping. Looks like a very old wolf. And he sits down, offers you coffee, and starts asking about the news of the world that you guys might have.
Pharaoh will just generally talk about things on the news that he's heard, the places they've recently been venturing to, and all the cairns they've been visiting on their initiation.
I'll voice in little bits here and there about the local stuff, because that's where I am indigenous to, is Alaska, and I will also bring up the concern of the wildfires being larger than they have in past years, and that Will apparently seems to have information about the fires being consuming the world.
He turns towards Will, interested, and by this point the old wolf has woken up and walked out of the tent and is currently lapping at a bowl of coffee.
Okay.
You've got some word about what's going on. And he points up, though the you guys can't see the sky from in here. It seems like it's fairly sheltered. And he says, we see the smoke, we breathe it. It's horrible, but we don't get much word about it.
The fire is big. The humans they don't have enough to fight it. So it just burns.
That is not entirely true. They do have enough to fight it. They could bring the resources to fight it. It is just that those who have the power to do so do not, because it doesn't benefit them.
I shake my head when you say that, very disappointed.
A soft growl escapes the wolf that stops lapping its coffee as you say this. The soft paw.
Our world burn because of their greed.
Softpaw shakes his head, as well as Atna, and it's worse this year than those that I am familiar with. Silver has spoken of it too, and he says, kind of looking at the wolf that's lapping, saying that he has not seen it like this before. The air does not smell right. Now that you are here, and he looks at at each of you. Are any of you skilled with spirit lore, with rituals?
I nod and step forward. Oh shoot! I never chose my 2 rituals.
I even brought that up during the week, and I thought you said yes, you had.
I thought I had. Actually, I think I have 3 rituals. Yeah, I need to choose 3 rites.
Meanwhile, Pharaoh's over here thinking, one avalanche of those snow-covered mountains, and this fire is taken care of.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I step forward and say, I have been trained in the ways of the spirit. I am a shaman of my people. A young one still, but they say I learn quickly.
Perhaps he looks at the wolf. He says, "We don't have anyone to perform rituals. I was born under the half moon, and Silver, he used to be a storyteller of his kind. But we are all that there is here. Perhaps we do have the rituals written, recorded on some of them. Perhaps you might be able to contact the spirits for us," he says, looking at Atna, to find what they may say. Or have you spoken with them already?
If you have the materials here, I did not travel with any. I would be honored to be of assistance in any way that I can.
You think that you could do this?
I think I could try.
The wolf begins changing form, becoming this giant, pharaoh-looking dire wolf with just heavy muscles and such. Even though he's still old, and as his skin stretches and he grows, you guys can see that he has wounds covering his body. And he shifts into the half man, half beast form of Krynos. And there's, just tears and rips, patches of hair that have been ripped out, an ear that's partially missing. And then he begins to shift closer and closer to human, going through a partial form, that the Glabro form of being a bestial man, and then finally over to Hamid. And he similarly looks like he is descended from the native Inuit tribes.
Okay.
To Atna and to Softpaw. And in this form, in his wolf form, he had that silver coat, and here, too, his hair has gone completely silver, on its way to turning just white. And he looks at you and says, "I have taught many on how to ways around parts of rituals to instruct, but." The spirits never heeded my words themselves well. Perhaps, youngling, you might be able to do this. We at the cairn, no one is here. No one comes to us. We are running low on our supplies. I am old, and I care for the cairn now, but do not hunt well." And he looks a little dismissively at the younger one that's with him, and he does not hunt well. Everything can hear him walk.
We should bring the 2 of you some food, Elder. It is of the way of life that the young take care of the old, just as the elderly have taken care of the very young. So, after I attempt any ritual for you that you may instruct me in, I would offer myself in service to hunt for a feast for all of us. Though I believe
we can
Pharaoh would do better
We
than
can
I.
take care of both. We can take care of both at the same time. You stay and learn. We shall hunt. As he gestures towards Will.
Sounds good to me then. I will stay and learn, Elder.
All right. Well, the two of you are welcome to go off hunting. I definitely am interested in that. See how that goes.
He will strip off his clothes, become a wolf, and sniff out some mice and caribou. Arctic mice are pretty much what Arctic wolves live on.
Mm-hmm. And they're pretty.
What was that, Alex?
I'll try to follow suit with Pharaoh over there.
So, Alex, Pharaoh, I think that you look like a jackal. Is that what you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
go ahead.
Big jack.
And Will, what about you? When you turn into a wolf, what is your appearance on this?
Pretty mangy, mutt-looking kind of thing with patches of hair missing and a scaly, tough hide. Not a sight to behold at all.
I am picturing a fat Australian shepherd with missing fur.
Sounds good.
All right. The two of you are welcome to roll for your survival there. And I am so survival is in skills. It looks like Horace, Pharaoh, you've got a little bit, and Will, you definitely. Oh no, that's nah. Will, you still definitely have a lot. You guys are good at survival. And I am trying to remember what would be the best pair on survival. And my PDF, unfortunately, is super slow. It's making me go. I could
see a lot of different ways of going because hunting, could be perception. Because what do we see? Intelligence or knowing what to look for.
Stamina, being able to keep up and keep quiet because that takes a lot of muscle control.
Here, I'm going to try a new way. Collapse top tier, and I will bloop bloop. Yeah, even this is slow. I need the book. I know how to get around the book without a problem. There we go. Survival. Normally they give you something, but yeah, they're not mentioning, so that have to be in the chapter. That's a lot harder. So I would definitely say that it's going to be in the act of hunting is going to be broken up into a few different parts since the two of you are working together. The first one's going to be finding prey, which is going to be based off your alertness and perception. And then we're going to go ahead and give you guys hunting, which you guys can either use wits or dexterity for your survival. So how do you two
what's the target number?
The target number is, if you go inland, you are actually looking at fairly easy hunting at the moment as animals are being displaced. And so we're going to go with a target number of 5.
And you said 10s explode?
Yeah, 10s of 1. I didn't realize that, and then I read the example, and they had the 10s exploding, and I was like, wait.
I'm like,
well, in the old one it did under specialties, but now they made the 10 specialties make the 10s cost 2 or give 2 and then explode as well, I guess.
The book, the 20th anniversary book, has very few rites, so I chose 1 rite, and I'm going to just hold my other slots because I have a rank 3 in it, and the rank 3 one does not fit me for what I would want. So I have 2 slots left. So you guys have fun with the hunt.
The rite of bonding, I forget what it is, but basically the rite of my clothes don't explode and such is an awesome rite.
The rite of that's not one that I find. There's only like 8 rites or 10 rites in here, in the rites section of this book.
We can deal with it later, but that used to be one, and I'm certain it still is somewhere.
Yep. Lots of books, there are a lot of books for them.
It was core before.
Oh, never mind. I found the next section of it. I'll keep reading. You guys enjoy hunting.
All right, for the perception alertness, I got 4 successes.
That's pretty awesome. Alex, what about you? So it's your perception plus your alertness, that number of D10s. And since this is fairly easy because all sorts of animals are being pushed out of their native lands as the fire rages. And so you've got a lot of animals without good shelters and such like that.
Okay, so I got 3 in perception, 3 in alertness, so that's 6 dice. I have a cute sense for sight, so it's supposed to give a -2 difficulty. Does that mean I'm getting 3s and up?
This would be more of a scent-based than a sight-based.
Okay, so still 5s up. Just barely made a difference, so I got 5 successes.
Okay. The two of you are able to track down some larger prey, some elk that have been displaced. It is something big. There's also, you guys can find smaller game and such if you do want to try that.
No, an elk sounds great.
We need to feed of us, so better catch something.
All right. Also, if you end up with a lot of 1s, basically, 1s will take away a success each if you come up with them. And then if you roll no successes in 1 and any 1s, I think that was a botch. So.
All right. And was our target number for the dexterity survival?
Dexterity survival, basically, first of all, I want to hear how you guys are approaching the creature, but the taking down the elk on the survival itself will be a bit more difficult since they are a fairly big creature. So we're going to go ahead and put that at a 7.
We approach from downwind.
Pharaoh can be downwind. I'm gonna go spook it towards Pharaoh.
Good choice.
Okay. Alex, you can try your manipulation survival. Or your manipulation animal can, actually. If you've got that.
Survival's better than animal can.
Okay. I'll still let you use your survival then.
So manipulation or what's
manipulation, which I guess is going to be the same thing as your wits. And since you're trying to get a specific action, I'm going to go ahead and give you an 8 on it. But you came in with a decent plan on that.
Okay, well, I had 2 7s, a 9, and a 1. So if you're telling me 8, then maybe it's a wash.
All right. So Jacob, as all of a sudden the elk, takes notice of something, lets out a sound of panic, and starts to run. It is running, in a general direction towards you, but not straight towards you. So you are welcome to go ahead and try your roll at survival on this.
Okay. I will get 3.
3 successes? Okay. You are able to trip the creature up. The two of you get into a short fight with it. Why don't both of you just go ahead and give me your stamina rolls? A soak roll, basically.
Want to explain soak roll for those who don't understand
Sure.
that term, Brandon?
So here I'm just doing it loose. I'm not wanting to run a combat with the elk, but basically, if there's any penalty to them having fought, they had 3 total successes, and so when somebody does damage, they have a number of successes, and then if you can mitigate the damage, will be determined based on the type done and what you are. When you make a soak roll, you take your stamina plus any modifiers that you might have to it, roll that, and knock off damage based on it. The difficulty is 6, by the way.
I got 2 successes.
You come out a little lightly bruised from it, but nothing that says, not the bruised rank on your health sheet. I'm just using that as a generic term.
He gets a little scratched up.
Yep.
Rolling well. I get 5.
Nice.
Okay.
You're wrestling with this elk.
You come out and we're nimbly dodging around it, and got no telling blows on you, basically. And
I pictured him like totally wrestling it into submission.
You know, when he first came out, got the grip on the neck and never really let go on it.
Exactly.
Schnack him.
So, all right, Alice, back
Yes.
at the cairn of the long night.
Okay, I have Rite of Cleansing, Rite of the Glorious Past, and Rite of Talisman Dedication. Rite of Talisman Dedication is the one that lets us bind our clothes and items to us for shifting.
That is an awesome one.
Yes,
so
it
you
is.
guys can have bound winter jackets if
because
Alice is
I
nice
would have
to
done
you.
it for you guys. So, but Rite of the Glorious Past
Bless
is
you.
one that thanks, is one that the current elder here may be interested in me doing. A cairn has its own history and heritage, regardless of the guru that currently inhabit it. Learning the history of a cairn is a fascinating undertaking that can take years. However, this rite allows the guru to experience the nuances of the cairn's development as a fever dream, causing those years to seem to pass in but a few short moments. To enact this rite, the rite master must draw upon a map of the cairn as it was when it was first founded, which may require some research. This map is then burnt at the center of the cairn. As the map burns, all guru present growl quietly at the rite master as the rite master recites the history of the cairn. All werewolves present see the cairn's formation and in any other important detail in its history as though in a dream. System: the player rolls intelligence plus rituals, difficulty 9 minus the Rite Master's ancestor rating.
So that's a tough ritual for you, I believe.
It is. So I would need, I don't know if he can give me bonuses or whatnot. I do have an int of 3. I have a rites of 3. So I am pretty darn good. I'm a pretty prodigy level for what I am. And so this is a level 3 rite, but because I am level 3 ritual in rites, I'm able to take a level 3. So it is the hardest thing I can do. Everything else I took is a level 1, is a rank 1. But given the things that we were talking about for the character, I felt this would be fitting for the character to take.
And just for my own interest, what's the last rite that you've got?
The last rite is the Rite of Cleansing. And let me go and find it again. That one's going to be a moment. Since I had this queued up. Sorry. The rites... Rite of Cleansing should be in the next page. Give me a sec. La la la. There it is. It's a level 1, like I said. This rite purifies a person, place, or object, allowing it to be used without fear of worm taint. The most common form of this rite involves the rite master inscribing a circle on the earth, walking it counterclockwise around the afflicted person or objects while holding a smoldering branch or torch. She must use a branch, preferably willow or birch, dipped in pure water or snow to sprinkle the object or person cleansed at the At the rite masters do so. As the rite master does so, all guru present release an eerie, otherworldly howl in an attempt to frighten away the corrupting influence. Ideally, this rite is performed at dawn, but may function at any time. System: the rite can be cast upon cast upon more than one object or person, but the Rite Master must spend one Gnosis point on each extra thing in need of cleansing. Only one success is required. The difficulty level dependent on the... Well, I won't bother keep reading that. But that, by the way, on the way here, I would have asked if I could cleanse his stuff, because I keep seeing... What I see of his just reads to me like it's all worm-tainted stuff. So when he pulls new stuff out, I'm like... And we're taking breaks, I'm going to ask if I can cleanse it for him. Since at its base, I don't believe I have to really spend that much Gnosis for it.
Aye.
But he concerns me. The stuff he uses concerns me.
Wait. Will it still work? I mean, it was broken anyways, but would it work?
You've heard her offer of cleansing things with a rock.
I assure you, it work as well as it did before I touched it. I think. At least that's what they tell me. As long as you didn't rely on the taint of the worm to actually do what you're doing, it will work fine. If you rely on the taint, then you shouldn't be here with me anyway.
I mean, I know it won't work when you touch it, but will it work when I touch it? That's what I care about.
Well, it should work for you just as well after I cleanse it, yes.
I'll let her cleanse stuff,
Cool.
starting with the car.
Awesome.
Alright, but yeah, Alice, the you and Silver talk for a while. The two of you actually changed to wolves to talk. He similar to you had a background as a lupus, and you talk about what you know and such. And so
what is his name again?
He is Softpaw identified him as Old Silver.
Okay, Old Silver. Cool. Great.
And Silver, talks to you for a while about different things and such, and just tries to get a feel out for you. He is fairly short in what he says. Doesn't really like, even though he's been using it for years, doesn't really like the human tongue so much, and so is more comfortable communicating as a wolf with you.
I'm good with going to wolf and communicating that way.
And so you guys, sit and talk for a while, and basically what you guys are going to try and do later on with everybody present is try and commune with the spirits.
So it would be similar to my level 3, right, that I have?
Similar by all means, but looking towards what is coming rather than what has passed.
Okay. And I will share with him the rite that I already do know and can perform, that of the past, and learn what similarities and differences between them are. Therefore, prepare myself for the ritual when everyone gets back. So
I will. Pharaoh and Will, the two of you have a big, heavy elk that I'm certain you can drag pieces of at least back over towards. Claves are handy to cut up elk, section them off, and drag pieces of it back to be eaten by the group. And so basically, as you guys can describe as you are coming back in, how things are looking from the two of yours, if people are looking at you guys.
Well, he's got a nice bloody jaw. And he's just bringing the meat back. He's all tail wagging, very happy. Although, because, yay, I succeeded. I'm a provider.
You're a provider. You are supposed to be, gearing up to be our alpha by all means.
So yeah, he's pretty happy that he's managed to succeed in this, and he just keeps bringing everything back until we've got the whole elk ready for chopping up and cooking.
Cooking?
Yes, cooking. Meat goes down faster when it has been cooked. This is why the humans are smarter than the animals, because they learned to use fire to cook their meals, and thus they spend less time acquiring and eating food and more time to develop their intelligence.
But burned food tastes awful. You're talking to
Not
a
with
wolf
my
of
seasonings, it doesn't.
We'll see about that. I didn't know you were the cook. Okay.
Well,
So yes, he
he
starts making venison stew.
If he starts seasoning with fur, I'm out.
All right, what were you saying, Alex?
Will's just kind of dragging himself in, dragging a piece of the elk, holding his side. I got kicked by the elk.
So you guys, have some venison stew by all means. Jacob, you can roll to see if you impress her with your craft or not.
Okay.
Like I said, if he's seasoned with elk fur,
craft, survival, things like that. You had good survival, so.
What mental skill will I be adding? That
probably intelligence, and it's pretty easy to make a decent soup. So difficulty 5.
Unless he's using charisma to try and make me believe it's delicious when it's not.
That might be Will.
All right, I did pretty well on this with rolling a 10. I got 3 successes.
Okay.
So you guys sit down and you have good.
Is it as good as steak tartare?
Soup, but Alice, well, it's not horrible. You can make your own decisions on how food should be.
I prefer it tartare.
Well, it's better than anything my mom made me. Oh wait, she never made me any.
And later in the night when the moon is full in the sky, and I'd let you guys recover rage if anybody was down rage because the moon does come out. We're going to let Alice try and get the spirits' attention.
Okay. What role is this for the rite that he's teaching me?
It's not so much a rite that he's teaching you. He's just trying to get you to contact the spirits, since you said that you would help them and such, and they're looking for information.
Okay, what role would you like me to do?
You are going to be doing manipulation rites, I believe, is going to be the manipulation rituals role. Okay. And to anybody who's listening along that this has not become apparent and does not know any of the World of Darkness or other White Wolf stuff, the way that roles are is you pick an attribute and then you pick an ability. So the attributes are your, strength, dex, that kind of stuff, charisma, manipulation, perception, intelligence. And then your abilities are of the skills that you know. What's up?
I need to change one of my skills before we get to this. I'm going to drop my enigmas down to 2, so I no longer have the specialty, because I just noticed my rituals itself. I bought really high rites, but I bought only 2 rituals. So I'm going to move the 2 higher to rituals, and I need to look at what possible options are for specialization. Do you know by chance off the top of your head?
No, different types. What type of ritual it is? So rituals of purification,
okay.
Rituals of this, rituals of that. That's at least one of the types of specializations.
Cool. I would probably be doing the third category, whatever that was, Mystic Rites. I'd be doing Mystic Rites as my specialty.
That sounds like it's going to be applicable, and I'm not using any system here. I just had some brief ideas on what to do, and mainly it's seat of the pants type stuff.
Yeah, and I apologize for messing that up. Okay, so so that makes more sense. I will roll my stuff then. So rituals plus manipulation, you said. Sure thing.
Manipulation. Yep.
That's 7 dice. I have a 10.
Oh, this is going to be a difficulty of 8.
Okay, well I have a 10, but I also have 2 1s so far. But let me roll my exploder. My exploder was a 9, so I have
1 success.
So I have I have 2 1s, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. So I have 2 successes after the 2 1s take them out.
What did you roll?
9, 6, 10, 9, 7, 1, 1, and then the exploder was a 9. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, minus 2.
I declare a thumb war.
So minus 2, so 2 successes.
All right. So the group of you, gather ground. The Silver is in wolf form. Softpaw is on a rock in Hamid form. Alice, I'm assuming that what form are you going to be in to perform this ritual?
Probably in Hamid form.
Okay. And why don't you describe what's going on, Alice?
Sure. Actually, no, I would be in wolf form. I'm more comfortable in wolf form. So,
well, that you're going to have a hard time manipulating things.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So yeah, I will be in Hamid form.
This is not the magical land of Yeld.
So there are a set of different bowls. There's a mortar and pestle, and you guys see that I take something out of my hair, one of the herbs and such that I have tied into my hair, and I put it into one of the bowls, and one of the pestle and mortar, and I start grinding it up, and then I take some salt and I sprinkle it in, and then I put it into each of the bowls, and then I take some sort of murky liquid and I pour it in each of the bowls, and then I take I take a little local twig from from nearby ground, and I use it to mix one of the bowls and then leave the stick there and then go and do it to each of the bowls. And I take each of these bowls and place it in front of each of the people that are that are assisting me in this ritual. And I take a rock off of the cairn and have you guys give me your hands or your paws, whatever form you're in, and place it into your hands and tell you to hold still. Hold it there. Don't move. And then I go and I pour each of the liquid onto it in a clockwise order. As I do, and afterwards I start drawing runes on top of the rock where the liquid is coming off. I start drawing runes and I move to the next person and draw it, and then you guys can feel the stones heat up, and the circle that we're in starts to heat up warmer and warmer and warmer, and I sit in the center cross-legged, and I start basically sweating and turning it's suddenly like a sweat lodge or something as I start to go into a feverish state.
And as this is all happening, those of you who are at least a bit attuned into your gnosis, which definitely will, and yeah, Horace, your gnosis is not terrible. You guys can feel the barrier between the Umbra, which is the spirit world, and the real world is low out here in the Alaskan wilderness. At the cairn, it's even lower. But the walls between the 2 points begin to break down. as the ritual goes on. As things continue on, that Soft Paw begins, chanting, and Silver begins howling at times as Atna,
Atna, yes.
Atna, as
Atna.
Atna continues her ritual, and you guys begin, as she says, it becomes like a sweat lodge.
In the
Even though
open
you
air.
guys, are in the semi-open air, it's enclosed with the trees and such, but and then you start to see things that you've seen definitely when you've gone through to the other side, through the Umbra. And so, quick aside, just flavor-wise for anybody who's unfamiliar with or watching and cares, the Umbra, werewolves used to be able to step through to the spirit world without a problem. As humanity took more and more power, there was a gauntlet that started between the 2 points, basically a barrier between the spirit world and the real world. If you go to a science lab, the gauntlet's going to be really hard to get through. If you're out in the middle of the wilderness or to Cairn, it's very easy to get through, but it's this barrier between the 2 points.
It's like
to keep one from bleeding to another.
Right. It's similar to for much more common understanding the idea of a fairy hedge, the hedge between our 2 worlds, between the and
or
since fairy lore is a lot more common for a lot of people understanding.
Or in a haunted house, that's a place that the gauntlet would be low in, is because the dead, now you're going to be connecting with a very specific part of the spirit world, but the dead are able to basically pass back and forth there. And so you guys start to see these visions, and as she does this and gets further and further feverish in it, it kind of like the world breaks away, and you guys are looking into the Umbra in the ritual, and there, floating in the air in front of Atna, is this arrow, as in a bow and arrow.
Okay. I look at the arrow and look at the direction it is pointing.
It is pointing at you at the moment.
Okay.
It is.
I reach out cautiously to touch it.
Okay. The arrow whirls around in the air and away from your hands and comes back, kind of pointing at you. A voice kind of wafts on the wind and called me. Tom Ruck was called here. What do you wish to know, little changer? Been on fall 4 winds have I, Tom Ruck, now called here.
Great Tom Ruck, we gather here to ask news of the world we do not understand, of the places on fire tainted by the worm, of the time that is coming that is worse than anything that our great elders have seen in the past. We ask of your knowledge.
Knowledge of what? Of what I have seen? Your lives do not go long enough to know what I have seen, and in the time of me telling that, I could have been fired far and near to learn more.
Of what you see coming from the fires, the destruction coming to our lands, to our homes, and to our people.
The arrow spins around away from you, pointing to the way of the land of the fires where the smoke comes from. There, deeper in the forests, it burns. Men go there, but men have been already. there are things that have caused these fires. They continue to light all throughout the north. The north is a world on fire. Tom Ruck, the arrow, sees a world on fire coming, covered in smoke, destroyed. There will be nothing left but the spirits of the smoke, for even the fire cannot live in that world.
And does Tom Rock see a way for us to change the path? To change the stars?
Tom Ruck points at the sky. The stars are beyond me. I know little of them. But to change, there are those that have started these fires, and they must be stopped, lest we be all smoke and ash and nothing more. This is what Tom Ruck has seen.
Did Silver ask me for any information that he wanted to know specifically when we were talking through?
You can take it. It's basically, that they don't get information out here.
Okay. And Tom Rock, do you see places for us to hide so that we may protect our people, so that we do not fall to the, so that we can continue our stories?
There will be no hiding from the smoke. It comes down. The wind blows it everywhere. I cannot stop it. It carries upon me, and I must go and see things. I am Tom Ruck, the arrow.
Well, great arrow spirit, if you have anything else you can share with us of your tales. We are your loyal students. We wish to learn anything you wish to teach us while you are here, of your stories, of what you have seen.
Of what I have seen, I have seen this world anew, long ago, and since then there have been changes. What is it that you want? I have too many stories to know.
To whom should we bury the arrow into to stop these fires?
Go ahead and give me, I'm looking charisma expression. Thinking that. Seeing if there's anything more applicable. That seems like a pretty good one, but yeah, go ahead and give me a charisma expression there, Pharaoh. The difficulty is going to be 7.
I roll 110.
110, so 2 successes. All right. Those that bring the fire, they travel. They travel now.
Doesn't the 10 explode?
No, he's not specialized.
Oh, he's
right. Oh, no. Sorry. The 10 does explode. Specialization is 2 successes. So it's 1 success. Reroll your 10.
Yep.
I did, and I didn't get anything from it.
I forgot that I actually have 3 successes total because I am specialized. So, but oh well.
They travel to the forest at the base of a mountain yawning. The old snow that lays forever on top. There, the next blaze will burn. It will sweep down through down to the shore, burning everything. It will burn here. It will blow further than this, though. Its sparks carried upon Tom Rock the arrow's wind.
I try and basically memorize where he is pointing us to. I wish to try and figure out where that would be. I would like to point out at this point that I am indigenous to this area, and I have eidetic memory. That is one of the things I did take. So based on the features that he is describing and the direction he is suggesting, I would like to know if I have an idea of this would be.
Sure. What does Eidetic Memory give you?
Let me double check it. Eidetic Memory. You remember with perfect detail things you see and hear, documents, photographs, conversations, etc., and can be committed to memory with only minor concentration, as can complicated trails, complex scents, or detailed howls. Under stressful conditions involving numerous distractions, you must make a perception plus alertness roll, difficulty 6, to summon enough concentration to absorb what your senses detect.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that he's pointing it away. Arrows are good for that.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead and make an intelligence academics roll.
Sure. So academics. Well, academics is barred from me, so I have an intelligence roll on this.
Well, it was barred at you before
Yeah.
you got freebie points.
Correct. That's true. I would like to point out, let me see, if there was something else that I had.
I'm just going to remind folks that, you do have your willpower that you can spend. It's
Yep.
one automatic success.
Survival won't work on this?
I'll give you survival at a higher difficulty.
Sure.
So we'll go perception survival.
Sure, perception survival. So that would be...
Basically, you having been there before.
Right. I am farsighted as my specialty. Would this count?
Is that a survival or a perception specialty?
That's a perception specialty.
I didn't realize it's giving you your thing. Sure, farsighted totally works.
Okay, well, it didn't trigger. I do have, and you said difficulty 7?
Sure, maybe I said that.
Okay.
I said harder difficulty. I think it was 7 initially, though.
Okay.
So this would be 8.
Okay, that's 7 dice. 6, 7, 10, 7, 5, 6, 3. So I have a single 10 with farsighted, so that's 2 successes, and I get to roll 1 more d10 as a result. So d10, that's an 8, so that would be a third success. So 3 successes, no ones.
Cool. Are you typing your dice rolls?
I'm using dash delta at the moment, yes, because I don't have
enough d10s on you?
It's somewhere. I know it's somewhere because I have like 4 sets of d10s from all the d10 systems we used to play. L5R.
I can't believe, because we've had my dice while we've been here, and so that's one reason that I'm like, I don't understand where they're hiding right now.
No, I have like 45 to 60 d10s from all the d10 systems we used to play. L5R, White Wolf, all these systems. I don't know where they are right now.
Yeah, you have a very good idea of where Tom Rock the Arrow has spoken of.
I start drawing
onto the
earth.
Snow, that will not melt as a glacier on top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
The river trickles down. There's woods that are at the base and such.
I start drawing a map into the earth in front of me, completely consumed in the ritual and Tom Rock's speech, and just kind of I forget what the term is. Automatic writing is one of the terms, but there's a better term. But as I'm basically honing in using both my memory as well as letting Tom Rock kind of consume my mind at the moment on that, and I'm just automatic writing the map out to where we would be going.
Cool. And with the question that has been answered, Tom Rock spins around like a game of Twister, like woo, 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 and then he stops, and then it just shoots off in the direction.
Okay.
Fetch.
So. And with that, the spirit world that you guys were partially between the gauntlet just having been so weakened. You see the walls of the gauntlet basically coming back up around you as the strange sights and such that you were seeing begin to go away. The heat begins to dissipate out away from where you guys are. Still warm from the night's air, but not the sweat lodge that was at one point created by Atna.
Okay. And then I signal for everyone to finally place those rocks down on the floor as they're starting to go, oh my gosh, this is starting to get heavy.
I got a rock.
And
I think I smell worse now.
probably do. You probably do. You smell like a wet dog. A muskier dog. Okay.
Pharaoh stands up, stretches, enjoys the last lingering bits of warmth before the cold air rushes back in.
So, bonus, temporary point for somebody in the game if they can get the why I named the spirit Tom Rock.
Nope.
It's a bad joke that.
I don't know.
Alright.
It's Rocket.
That, by all means, is part of it, on him rocketing away. But, no, so Tom Rock the Arrow. So, get rid of that middle stuff. Rock the. So, Tom Arrow. Tomorrow. Since Alice was trying to see into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was a bad joke.
It was a very bad joke. It was a very bad joke. Sorry, I didn't get it. I apologize. I would totally fail at whatever that game is that we used to play, that card image game. I forget what it's called right now.
Dixit?
Yes, Dixit. I would fail at Dixit right now.
Well, don't worry. Alex and John used to get the secret jokes, the inside jokes that you and I had, and you'd be like, I don't know what that is. So, with that, you guys are there. Will smells a little worse for wear. Pharaoh stands up. Alice, you are a bit spent after that.
Yep. I take a wet towel and I wipe myself down, and I start drinking water to rehydrate from that. I need a nap, and I start turning back into a wolf, put the towel underneath me, and I curl up with the towel.
Silver walks out past the cairn to the last rock and begins to howl into the night.
Okay.
Pharaoh looks to Softpaw. You have a map of the local area.
He nods and he limps over to his bag and pulls out a map and such of the local area. It's a big book of maps and such, and starts flipping through, and is able to point you out where you guys are and such.
And remember, I have a map drawn on the ground.
Yeah. Yes, but map.
Yes, real map. I'm good with real map.
He is going to make a copy of real map, and that way we can navigate the area and start plotting our way to said mountain.
Okay. Will, you got anything?
Not really. I don't feel like poking at the phone right.
And more the fact that I was pointing out the map on the ground right now, because since I didn't verbalize where we were supposed to go, that way you can use my map to reference the map that you're doing so that you know where we're going.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this Hobbit's ways are weird, Brandon. This Hobbit's ways are so strange. So after a short nap, if they let me sleep, I'll get up and be ready to go. If they don't let me sleep, I will try and go anyway.
These are true facts about the Hamid.
That is how the werewolf do.
Exactly.
I love me some true facts.
Oh my god, I found it a couple weeks ago and realized using an X-Acto blade while listening to true facts is not a good combination.
idea.
No, you're going to be laughing too much.
Yeah, he almost cut a finger off.
So, yes, you guys, after Silver howls for a while, he comes back, and you guys can hear distant howling and such responses, and for a while, and then he comes back, and he shifts over to Hamid form again, going through the different shapes, and looks at you guys and says, "Tomorrow, Silver and I, or not Silver and I, Softpaw and I will begin our journey to the south. We will close the cairn for the time. It sounds as if the rest of you are heading to the north."
We are going to stop this new fire before it can begin, yes. I believe that is one of the reasons we were sent here.
He looks you up and down and simply says, You make your line proud."
He nods in thanks.
And then he shifts back over to Wolf, and he goes back into the tent that he's got and curls up.
And in the meantime, I need to take a bio break because I am having Revenge of the Icy.
Okay.
Sure.
See you in a minute.
Better icy than hot. So, it sounds like in the next day you guys are going to be hitting the road.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
So between Jacob's map and Alice's map, as well as the direction that Tom Ruck the arrow pointed you guys, you are able to make.
And eidetic memory and know the way.
As well as eidetic memory and knowing the way, because she's been there before.
Yes, indeedy.
You guys are able to figure out where to go and all. Alice, what does Spirit of the Lizard do?
Spirit of the Lizard lets me scale even the smoothest of vertical surfaces because my claws sprout claws.
Cool.
And I get to pincer in on surfaces and climb vertical surfaces, or, and I start having to make checks if it starts going upside down because I need to start clinging, but I can climb vertical surfaces without a problem.
Cool. I just want to check on that. What? I realized what you said after, but I just hear you squawking in the next room. So
there's a reason why I had my mic muted then, Brandon. You didn't need to tell them I was squawking. So we are heading out. Trek. After a good hearty breakfast of banana.
They're naturally grown in the Alaskan wilderness. All right. Wait until Jacob gets back since he's almost here.
I think we went too far. I thought I saw a Britain.
Yes,
That was a. Please tell me he gets some sort of temporary hero point or something, Brandon, because that was epic.
Yes, I have a Great Britain shirt.
Aye.
Alex deserves some sort of point for that one, for that joke. But yeah, my banana wouldn't open, Brandon, so I was cursing at it in my gnomish cursing. That's the squawking.
That did not sound like gnomish cursing. That sounded more like bird cursing.
You're in the other room. How can you tell? Okay, roll number 1. Yeah.
No asthma, Alice. Okay. So is there any prep that you guys are doing before you head out the next day?
Double
How
checks
long
the
of a
map.
trek do we think it will be?
Looks like it's probably about 50 miles further up north.
So, given relative wilderness travel, that's going to take us about 2, maybe 3 days. Faster if we go by wolf. But otherwise, he wants to make sure we. Otherwise, he wants to make sure he double checks the map, make sure he's got his coordinates all set. He wants to make sure where we can find natural resources along the way, water. He's pretty sure we'll be able to find game along the way, at least certainly mice, because, like I said, Arctic wolves live on mice, and yeah.
What about you, Will? Anything doing prep?
Is there any junk around worth scrounging?
There is not a whole lot of junk. Everything here seems to have a purpose. Because there's not everything that has to come here has to be packed in. The two of you, Alice saying that she was like in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness and you being a bone gnar. Then again, Jacob being like, yeah, I'm from Egypt. It was like, wow. I don't have a communal place to put you guys.
I gather some local herbs that Silver might have grown, since he says he instructs a lot. So it's probably a place where he has components laying around, and I'm going to ask him for permission to take some of the components with me. And I start tying some of the herbs and such into my hair.
Sure. So, you guys get your prep done. Pharaoh checks the maps. Alex scrounges for anything that he can find in the area. And Alice just, tries to get some mystical preparation done with herbs. And then you guys are, both of your groups set off. The Silver and Softpaw both are leaving in wolf form, and Softpaw similarly limps with his back right leg being mostly useless when he's in wolf form. And so tries to do an awkward three-dogged run, and it's not like the awesome three-dogged runs that like those dogs are totally used to and don't have that leg anymore. But he still has to deal with this dead limb basically that's just dragging with him in that form. And so they wish you the best. And that Silver basically closed the cairn early in the morning to protect it, and since there is they have been warned by the spirits that this will burn, they are going to go see if they can rally some support for all of you in the fight that you're dealing with, but they are uncertain since there is trouble everywhere if they would be able to find any. The group of you head north, and I know that Jacob is a tireless sort of fellow. and that lets him go for quite a while. The other two of you aren't so. Utna is actually the one that's probably the least used to long determined treks.
Yep, I am. I am the least capable of it.
The for the Bonar among you who has the highest stamina in the group, he's used to being forced to travel long distances on a regular basis. And but all of you are used to getting along in the wilderness in some degree or other. And
I
you guys
am extremely graceful, so the terrain issues that they suffer, I don't though.
That is true with your preternatural grace.
Mm-hmm. Specialized index.
And all of you are good at survival, which is also a part of just getting along. You guys are able to hunt fairly easily, and all of you definitely notice that Atna, especially you, since this is native territory for you, the how easy it is to find animals because so many are being chased out of their
the
homes.
fires. Yeah. And by the way, another reason why I'm not suffering terrain issues that the two of them might be is I do have the spirit of the lizard. So when it comes to scaling mountains or steeper areas, I just sprout claws on claws.
Yeah, well, I think Horace has got something to do similar.
Cool.
City running.
I got city running, but I wasn't sure if that only worked in the city or not.
I don't know. Let's look it up
Let's
real
look
quick.
it up.
City running.
Page 152, so it's like 154 in the PDF or so.
Read gifts, Hamid, city running.
Found it. Raised in the...
At a point of rage, for the rest of the scene, can climb urban features at full movement. Difficulty of athletics. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really going to help me here.
Yeah.
But I still have speed of thought, which doubles my speed, so I'm able to keep up pretty much anything.
So, for the spirit of the lizard, the werewolf's hands and feet sprout hundreds of tiny hooks, allowing her to climb across to cling to any surface, even sheer horizontal surfaces and ceilings. Oh, I don't have to make a check.
Spider wolf.
I'm Spider Wolf.
Spider ham.
So, I can do that, and I am preternaturally graceful, so I don't deal with the terrain problems that they're going to suffer. That'll help make up for some of the lack of endurance compared to them.
It's all right, guys. You can go on ahead a bit. It's not like I've never been left behind before.
Okay, Eeyore.
All right. And on the you guys are able to make pretty good time. And so on the first night, you think it'll be just over 2 days probably to get to the area. On the first night, as you guys are sleeping, do you guys all just pass out? Do you guys paranoid D&D style keep a guard?
I suggest keeping a guard.
I pass out. Things don't want to eat me.
If Pharaoh wants us to guard, I am willing to take a watch. Otherwise, I am going to sleep because whatever happens will wake me. I'm very, very high sensitive on that.
The tireless guy's like, let's stay up longer.
Yeah.
What an ass.
Pharaoh, being tireless, takes the first watch so they can rest.
Thank you.
And then later in the night, wakes up the one with the really good senses so that he can sleep.
Sounds good.
She seems to be awake before you wake her. Whether the wolf will actually hold guard or not, I'm totally awake. I'm listening right now. Well, Pharaoh, on your watch, you start to hear kind of a soft moaning sound in the distance. At first, you think maybe it's the creak of like trees or something like that, but it persists, and you're not certain what it is as time goes on.
He looks around for a bit. Go ahead, Alice.
Sorry. I just want you to be aware, in case Jacob's getting jumped right now, that I do have level 1 of heightened senses, which, in addition to me being able to keep my stuff in Glabro and Hamid, I basically have precog when it comes to being able to smell, hear, or see stuff.
I can't say that I'm well aware of that, but I know that you had
naturally
a
potent,
lot
allowing
of
her sensory
sense
feats
stuff.
to border on precognition. Sudden sounds, bright lights, or overwhelming scents, or sounds disrupting, otherwise. But
So,
I'm not really worried about it either because I have dangers.
cool. I just want to make sure I will wake up.
Alice, what does inner strength do?
Oh, I just was reading that. Inner strength, I forget right now. So
Plus -2 difficulty on willpower.
After brief meditation, the guru may convert her inner anger into iron resolve. Wait, that's level 1. Alex, what did you say level 1? Sorry, that's level 2. What did you say level 1 was, Alex?
Inner strength, I think, is just a 2-pointer.
I wrote down that it's a -2 difficulty on willpower rolls if you're in an overwhelming situation.
Gotcha. I see that you have it as well. All right. But no, Alice, you don't hear anything.
Okay.
At the moment, Jacob.
He's going to look around, and like you said, if he doesn't see anything immediately, he's going to sit down momentarily, hone, and activate Visions of the Duat.
What does Visions of the Duat do?
What it does, what it do. My eyes become cloudy and pale as I attune my vision to the ashen landscape of the underworld. I spend a Gnosis point, roll Perception plus Occult, difficulty 7, and for the rest of the scene I can see and hear ghosts and other spiritual things. I can't interact with them, but I can see and hear them. So let me roll that. Okay, I rolled max. I rolled 2 8s, a 7, and a 9, so 4.
That's pretty awesome. You tune in to this after trying to find out what's going on, and all of a sudden, similar to when the gauntlet kind of broke away, the real world breaks away, and you have this duality of vision. Kind of like when you cross your eyes, and so you're seeing two different noses. And you interact in these two different worlds. One of them, like you were just reading, this ashen and gray look upon the land. The other one, well, dark, but still with the moonlight coming through, you still see the green of the woods and such. And in that ashen landscape, you see these just kind of shambling forms of people that have been obviously burned, and animals that have been burned that are just kind of like this oncoming wave, and the moan is traveling with them, of all these individuals that have died during these fires, you might guess, because that's the commonality to them.
Based on what I can tell, do they look like they are just some sort of tortured spirits? Or if I draw attention to them, would they be the kind of spirits who might become violent?
They look mainly like some sort of tortured spirits. And in fact, as you're looking at some of them, they actually look like they are literally tortured. before this happened to them. On the people that you begin to find. As you having military careers, the clothes on some of them look like they are, game wardens and such like that, that they are individuals that were in uniform who had been, tortured in some regard before they ended up catching fire and dying.
He will go to one of the spirits that looks like it's in a ranger's uniform and approach and attempt to speak with it.
Okay.
He will put himself in front of the spirit, trying to appear as non-threatening as he can. What did this to you, Burnt One?
You didn't open up with the line, "I see dead people."
Nope.
The game warden gains some clarity. The vacancy kind of leaves its face for a moment, and clarity fills in as it sees you, rather than just kind of moving and being unaware of any of you guys. And so he looks shocked, and for a second, he's scared, and then he just kind of grabs onto you, and you feel all of a sudden these powerful hands grab you as the spirit does. He looks straight into your eyes with this, kind of ghostly, that you're still seeing things behind him, but this horrified look. And he's like, They came from the factory, from the oil line. They came upon us. They captured me, my friends that were out there. There were 3 of us. They bound us. I recognized one of them. We were tied and we were tortured, and then we were let go, lit on fire, a fire that would neither kill us nor would end. We were sent deep into the woods, burning, everything burning behind us. It is, even though there's no breath coming out of him, because he's like right in your face and his chest is rising and you can hear him panting, but there's nothing that feels. The only thing that you feel is that strong grip. And it's obvious that for a moment he's kind of back there and looking into his eyes. That milkiness almost reflects that look, as he's seeing some of the people that he knows run into the woods, literally on fire, and the dry trees beginning to catch. As he looks, and that look in his eyes, it pans over to this guy that's over him, laughing, and in the eye, as he continues on the story, the look on the guy begins to morph. They weren't human, he says. I thought that I knew them. They were workers, but there was something else. And then you begin to see these like tentacles that are coming out from the arm sleeve and such like that. Obvious worm traits. These fangs, different from a werewolf's fangs, but fangs protruding from an individual. Another one that has like bug eyes and such, and they are all kind of laughing as they send these men off burning, and he seems to have been the last one, as you see this vision within his eyes as he's talking to you.
You have passed on. Do not let the fire consume your soul. As the sun rises, know that you are being called to the beyond. Do not worry about what has happened. Do not worry about your mortal life. Pass on to the 12 hours of night. Ride the barge to the sun and the beyond, and you will find peace. I will avenge you. Tell the others the same. Let them find peace. They will be avenged.
He. I'm gonna have you go ahead and make me a charisma roll. That was pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and give you a bonus die on that. And I would definitely say that seems like expression once again to me.
Pity I have none.
I know.
The fighter is being charismatic.
I only got one success.
when the fighter decides to be the charismatic one.
And that was difficulty 6, which is the standard difficulty. I'm just so out of practice of
I got a
citing
7.
what the difficulty is on these things.
White Wolf's a fun system. World of Darkness stuff is fun.
And if you were down willpower, I would have given you a willpower point back, because by all means, I think that was a great acting on your nature of being an alpha. He looks at you, kind of shocked for a second. No, I'm not dead. I'm still burning.
The fire is no longer touching you. Close your eyes, look to the sun, and take the barge.
And Alice, you're waking up because
he's talking.
Your keen senses and all, and yeah, you see Horace or Pharaoh over there talking to somebody. No one is there that you can see.
He's got his clave in his hand, but he's holding it non-threateningly, just at his side.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to see if I can see what he's talking to. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to set myself in a circle. I'm going to draw a circle around me into the dirt. And then I take some of the stuff out of my hair and I crush it up and I put it around me. Then I start forming small pillars of rocks at different heights around me. And I'm going to enter into the ritual of, what's the rite called? Something about the glorious past. Yeah.
You need like a map and such to burn for that, and it's supposed to be at a cairn site.
Not my map.
Right. That's right. Rite of the glorious past. Yeah, that's true. It's a cairn.
But you are super perceptive, and the way that Pharaoh is, you can definitely tell that something is like holding him. Not necessarily like keeping him there, but that, the way you notice stuff that's the way that he's being held.
Like someone that has his hands on his shoulder kind of aspect. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that, he's stopped or anything like that, but
okay.
You wake up to that. Will, you're also a fairly perceptive fellow, so you probably wake up to that as well. And you definitely take notice of the specific, since sight is the focus of your acute senses, the way that like his jacket crunches in a little bit at the shoulders and such, and lots of different signs of him being held as he's talking.
Okay. Out of reflex, then, concerned because I can't see it, I probably would reflexively activate Spirit Snare. If the
Spirit Snare.
Yeah. I'm going to read this because if the spirit is not hostile against him, it won't do anything. But this way, I'm protecting him. The snares cast out an invisible mystic net which entangles hostile spirits, confounding them with a mixture of magical force and long broken but still potent Gaian law. So the player spends 1 gnosis point and rolls intelligence plus occult, difficulty 8, as an attack directed at a spirit within 30 feet, which can be defended against normally. Rather than inflicting damage, this attack reduces the spirit's effective willpower by 2 for the purpose of all combat actions for the rest of the scene. Multiple applications of the gifts don't stack. Okay. So I'm just going to toss it out there. If it's not hostile, it just fizzles. but I'm concerned in case it's hostile that he at that point gets some protection.
You burn your gnosis and reach out, and you don't find any spirit where you believe that it would be.
Okay.
And
so I do that, and then I go, Pharaoh, what are you? Who are you speaking with? What is holding you?
He looks over, just gestures calmly, like, I got this. not saying anything, just.
But you're saying I don't sense a spirit at all, or not sensing hostile?
You do not sense a spirit.
Okay.
Must be nice to be held by someone or something. No one holds me.
Pharaoh, there is no one there. There is no spirit there. Whatever you are talking to, it is not a spirit.
It is the dead. It is not a spirit. It is a ghost. I will explain later.
Okay.
I am trying to tell it to move on.
I settle back down.
Oh, it's just the dead. Oh, I'm going back to sleep.
No, he's telling me it's going to be okay, so I'm settling down and I'm being careful. Actually, I may have something to help with this. Let me look.
They have to pay. They need to die. If I am dead, they will come with me. The rest of them, they must pay for this, he says. Definitely getting more inflamed. And you can feel where he's touching you gets warm.
The people who did this to you, the monsters, will be destroyed. I will do it. He gestures to his companions. They will do it with me. You will be avenged. You may sleep, knowing this.
Alice.
Sometimes you need a little emoting to understand what sleep is.
Yes.
Sorry, didn't mean to knock it over.
He kind of lets it sink into him as you're telling him you're dead and all, and he looks around and just sees, all these animals, and I mean, we're talking like there's insects that, there's little mice like you're talking about, there's owls, everything that would have been living in the woods is just kind of in this wall, leaving the fire and such, leaving the smoke, and just coming as this pack for some reason, and that does strike you as odd by all means. And he says, We're dead. And then he looks at you again and is like, I will go and find the barge that you speak of. But know this, horse Pharaoh. I will hold you to your word.
Uh-oh.
And with that, he lets go of you and just kind of passes through you and continues on with the rest of them that you see.
He just watches them go for a little bit as they continue on, and then goes to return to his companions. His eyes still shining and glowing because it lasts a while.
So yes, you watch them, and they continue to pass on, and you can see for a while more and more dead, not necessarily traveling in that big, mass and such, but more and more traveling at the distance and such, of just all these creatures that were claimed during these fires.
When he saw the vision of the people who were torturing them, did he see? And you mentioned they were working for an oil company. Did they have any particular logo attached to them?
Yeah, and since this is a one shot, we're just going to go ahead and use Pentex. If it were, a longer duration, I might make up some sort of subsidiary of Pentex.
Okay. So yeah, he returns, sits down, I can see the dead when I wish a gift of Gaia. There are many of them, and in fact, the worm has been causing these fires. They've been specifically setting local game wardens, park rangers, and animals aflame, and then throwing them, chasing them into the forest to spread the fires. It's not just matches. They are causing glee and death and torture with this.
Oh, hell. And you can just see, like, my, I'm so disturbed that I look like I'm about to lose my dinner kind of look. And how can anyone consider this gleeful and fun? And
Through
I've been
the
warned.
eyes.
I have been warned of the horrors of this world, but that sounds so pointless.
Through the eyes of the warden, I saw a man, and who was not a man. He had claws and fangs. He had tentacles.
Those three different men.
Oh, three. I saw.
One
three.
had spider eyes, one had fangs, one had tentacles.
So I saw three men who were not men. They had features of insects and claws and tentacles. They were of the worm. They were the ones who did this. It was not ordinary men who did this. It was the enemy.
Well, we will be there soon, and we will stop them from continuing this horror.
I have seen them, so I will know who to target. And he holds up his clave, and their whatever they call their blood will drench the ground.
We will cleanse the taint from these lands and stop this. We have to. The lives of the people in our kinfolk depend on us now. Our clans, our tribes, they all need us to stop this before everything is gone.
Yes.
You better get some rest, Pharaoh. I'll take over watch.
He gives Anna a comforting hug, seeing that she's very distraught over this before going to bed.
He smells funny.
Yes, he does.
I hug him back and hold my breath because he smells funny.
Unlike that Will Wallows guy who doesn't smell funny.
Yeah. Who smells normal.
Just what?
So the rest of the evening does pass without any incident, and you guys are off on the trail tomorrow, going into the wilderness, and you guys end up where Tom Ruck the Arrow did guide you to the mountain, the glacier, the river path that leads out in the forest at the bottom. That Alice was like, oh, pointing in that direction. I'm certain I know what he's talking about. And you get there and climb up for a ways to survey the land and such. Or actually, what's your plan when you guys get there? There's a few ways you can approach it.
Well, I'm gonna let our alpha take the lead because he has literally seen what these guys were targeting looks like. I am going to try and smell. I mean, the smoke is probably getting really bad, so it's gonna be hard to smell. But I'm going to try and use my senses to see what doesn't smell right, look right, sound right around here.
Yeah. Smell perceptions are going to be at +2 difficulty
Sure thing.
out in this area.
Totally get that. Totally fair. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be worrying about.
Anyone else?
Jacob, we can't hear you.
As we get to the area, he just wants to get a nice overview of the region. He wants to get a nice high vantage point, if possible, so we can. You mentioned the pipeline, so he's seeing if we can. Is there construction? Is this an older pipeline? And seeing what we can about that.
Does Google Maps have any satellite imagery of buildings or anything?
Sure. So how does your whatever it's called, not that one, trash is treasure work, Alex?
Player takes hold of a broken object and rolls wits plus crafts. The object functions perfectly for 1 turn per success, and it also supplies its own power, fuel, or ammunition.
Or internet is
Or
the way
internet.
that we decided it.
Or
That's
internet.
right.
I loved this. I saw this meme, and actually I do understand it. But in Avengers Endgame, and that Hawkeye gets called by his wife after they bring her back and all, and then the meme was like, "Dude, you have to turn off autopay," but he couldn't bring himself to cancel her phone. But it's like, where does that service come from? But it didn't take a gnosis, or did it?
I don't think it does.
Nice. That's pretty sweet, actually.
When do we get Gnosis back, by the way?
Yep.
Gnosis return is through meditation, making deals with spirits.
Oh, okay.
And there was one other way that you can get Gnosis back.
While I was
totally
on
not
watch,
that
I'm
page
going to
anymore.
meditate then to get that gnosis back.
Sure. Go look up that part in the book. It's on you now.
So I got 4 turns of a working phone.
Okay. Trash is treasure. One full day if you spend a willpower, but requires proper power and ammunition. Gotcha. All right, cool. So you turn on the phone. Go ahead and give me your computer check. Intelligence computer.
So I have to roll wits plus enigma with a difficulty 8. So I now only have 5 dice to that. So let me go and roll that. Since I adjusted.
I got a 6 and a 2.
Okay, yeah, it's not a hard check, but since you're on limited time with it, you bring it up and are able to get Google Maps loaded in the region. You see that there is a settlement of people. It looks like a small settlement of native people that is probably about 30 miles away from the spot that you guys are. There is a ranger station, not too far from where you guys are. There is what else on Google Maps that you'd be able to notice? Give me your perception. Computer perception, Alex.
While he's rolling that, I failed to get any gnosis back. I didn't roll well enough.
Okay. Did you botch?
4 successes.
No botches, but the DC is 8, and I have 3s through 7s. No 1s, but no 8s.
Okay. You said 3 successes, Alex?
4.
4 successes. Okay. In addition to that, you do notice where there is an old pipeline that does run through the area. And let's go ahead. I will give you some regional knowledge that you can call upon later on. Ask me questions of things that you might have noticed in that. And you notice a number of access roads, or you can see a number of access roads, which you would, if you're calling on that specifically, you're going to have to roll to remember exactly where they are.
Is there any like particular stations for this pipeline, or is it just pipe?
You do notice some stations all along the pipeline. They are a bit more outside the area.
Okay. So there's a ranger station not far from here.
That is more than likely where they will strike. They seem to take particular glee in setting ablaze the defenders of the land.
Then that is where we should go first.
Do you think that's the one they already hit?
Brandon, based on the knowledge that we have of the location, would this be the one they already hit, or one that they...
This area doesn't seem to be burning at the moment.
Okay.
So
we head that way.
Yeah, the ranger station seems likely, considering.
Brandon, those banana chips are ridiculous. I cannot stop eating them.
The native tribe seems a bit far away for them to be the target.
all right. So you guys take a hike. Take a hike, guys. You guys take a hike to towards the ranger station, using the excellent knowledge of the survival and moving around in wilderness of Atna, of Will having a Google's eye view at the area, and Horace being pretty good in survival, and generally it seems to be a get to it kind of individual.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So, you guys end up closing in on the ranger station later on in the day. You guys are there. It's just a small, small building that looks like it's built to be insulated, protected from weather and such. One of the access roads does lead up to it, and there is a Jeep out in front of it. The whole thing is fenced off.
Okay. I'm gonna approach in Hamid form. I'm gonna change out of my wolf form. And but I'm gonna fall behind our clear tank here.
I'm not sure when they will come, but we'll probably want to clear the rangers out beforehand.
I figured that is what we were doing. That's why I am in this very uncomfortable form. I didn't think they would listen to wolves.
No. I am just thinking of what excuse we can give to make them leave for a long enough time.
Which way do we need them to go?
I would think anywhere more towards anywhere south of us would be good.
Brandon, I'm going to think about terrain to the south of us, and I'm going to go. My intention is to go in and tell the rangers that my little sister fell off a cliff while we were hiking, and she is in need of assistance, and this was the closest place I could think of to come for help.
So ranger station is kind of, and maybe this doesn't occur to you being a wolf, but it's an out of the way. It's not really where you're going to go for the public.
Okay. It wouldn't occur to the wolf.
Do you have looking to Will a radio to alert them?
Look in my bag. What do I have?
How much stuff does your bag hold?
I guess it says like 3 times its size, so I'm really assuming I have kind of a...
Having a broken radio in there seems
bag.
pretty reasonable, especially given the terrain that you're traveling in and all.
Alrighty. I got this.
How does that work? Why do we need a radio?
If you send them the message on an emergency frequency, they will go out.
Okay.
Tell them that
my sister is hurt and at the
your
location.
sister has fallen. Give them the coordinates. Looking at the GPS that he has.
I don't know coordinates, but I can tell them which rock.
Tell them these numbers. He will tell her the coordinates.
Okay. Hello? I'm speaking into this thing. Hello?
Sound panicked.
She
Hello?
she needs to push the button.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking. Is it
I will-
working?
I will
Hello?
have-
Is anybody there?
I will have her. I will push the button and hold it, and I will shake her a bit so she sounds panicked.
Okay. Hello! Help, please! Anybody there?
Alex, go ahead and make your roll.
Sure. I'm using manipulation.
Alex.
Sure.
This thing's gonna work for 3 turns.
3 turns, okay. It's pretty good.
SOS!
Okay.
Hi.
Hello? I need help. My sister's hurt.
So, Alice, go ahead and give us your manipulation subterfuge on this.
Sure. I'm looking for my subterfuge.
It's in the bottom of talents.
Yeah, I have no subterfuge, so we'll see though. But I do have manipulation, and hey, I have.
It's a difficulty of 6. They're prone to believe somebody.
Okay, I have 2 successes then.
Okay. So you're like, oh, my sister fell at the. We're at this, and give the
193
coordinates.
by 112, and yeah, just give the numbers that I was told to rattle off. She's really hurt.
There are many numbers, Alice. You don't know why anyone needs this many numbers.
I'm. Please hurry. My sister, she fell down really far. Okay.
And I guess actually you guys aren't even trying to get anybody to come back on you.
I'm gonna suffer shaken cub syndrome.
Are you letting her transmit for the entire time the thing works, or what?
He'll release the button so we can try to make it sound like she's waiting for a response.
Okay. And somebody comes back, and they ask you where they've got we have your coordinates. Can you please repeat? You repeat them. Where are you right now? Describe your surroundings.
I will describe myself as I'm at the top of the cliff looking down. She's really far down. I don't know how to get to her. I'm at the top of the, and I'm gonna name the rock because I don't know coordinates off the top of my head, but I would know like landmark rocks, and so I was picking one near that landmark. So I'm gonna say a landmark rock. Maybe they don't know that landmark the way that I know it, but that's the name. So
I am at Black Shine, moose-shaped hornhead rock.
Yes.
What? And then the radio dies.
And then we hide while they disperse.
Hey, I had a good base plan. Jacob cleared it up with the, Jacob translated from dog to human.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told Alice that, or mentioned that to Alice, but to Jacob and Alex, you guys both with common sense realize that this would be a very strange place for somebody to just kind of find their way to. And if you did find your way there, they'd probably expect you to go with them to find your little sister. You common sense people.
Yeah.
So, yes, within, about 2 minutes, you have a ranger coming out quickly from the little the ranger station. Gets in the jeep, drives the jeep out. The gate opens up for him, and he drives out onto the access road and continues on his way.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go into wolf form and sneak into the fence perimeter at this point. Because wildlife in this area might look a little less suspicious than a human walking in.
Alex, what were you going to say?
Do you think that was the only ranger?
It's the one that's most immediately present.
It was the only jeep.
Adna, can you smell any others?
That's what I'm trying to figure out in a moment. Do I smell any others? Because, like I said, I went in as a wolf now. Therefore, hopefully, a wolf wandering in will look a lot less suspicious than a human if there are any humans left. Because it's wildlife.
Go ahead and roll your alertness perception.
Sure. I'd like to point out that this is sense, and therefore I get my specialty.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's 8 dice. Yes, 8 dice. I would also like to point out my perception specialty is farsighted, but not like it does anything, because I already can flag a specialty. Ooh, I have, no ones, but I have a lot of low rolls, but I do also have 10, so I'm going to roll my exploder. My exploder gives me another 10. Seriously, wow. And
are you rolling in babies with knives or what?
No, I'm rolling straight in Dash Delta, but I can show you if you'd like.
I just wanted to see, but
okay.
now you're hiding them and making a big deal about it.
I can copy it over for you, no problem. So my initial roll was 9, 4, 10, 6, 2, 3, 4, 2. So I had 3 successes, then I got another 10, so that was 5 successes total.
And then the 10 did a what?
Did a 2.
Okay. You smell around for a while after having moved in past the gate before it closes, and you sniff around and you don't smell any others. I didn't ask for your Dash Delta. I just thought that you set up a babies with knives thing, and then
some people don't understand how to mute a single channel, so I try not to spam in there too much.
They need to learn.
Yeah, I agree, but I've already
because I had to learn yesterday, or else the Hero System art channel was just going to blow up my computer, I think.
So, but yeah, I've taught a few people, but I've learned that not everyone learns that. So, I will return close to the group and go, I don't smell anyone else there.
All right. So if there appears to be no one else in, we shall move in, see what resources we can scrounge in to help us with a, potential worm attack. He's looking for, guns, ammunition, tools.
Well, the station itself is a locked station.
Uh-huh.
Any windows? Anything? Something I can stick my head into?
Having a window open that is not normally something that somebody would get through seems like a pretty good thing in the middle of summer.
Fireplace.
Alex, are you
Chimney.
Santa Claus? Are you Santa Claus, Alex?
Oh dear. Santa Claus is a wet dog.
You're a big guy. You smell like an animal. You can squeeze into all sorts of things. You don't really like talking to people, and you make treasure.
And I have
got
a
a
sack
bag of
that
tricks.
holds more than it seems.
Oh my gosh, true. You're Santa Claus.
Oh. Here
That's
comes Willow Wallows. Here comes Will Wallows. Right down Will Wallows Lane. So
We're
yes,
a pack of
they
weirdos.
by all means you can find a place that you think that you could use your rat head to move into.
Alrighty.
So how does rat head work, Alex?
The player spends 1 Gnosis and rolls Dexterity plus Athletics, difficulty 7. For the rest of the scene, the menace may squirm through any gap she or he can fit his or her face into, moving at his or her walking speed to do so.
Alright, so how's your roll? Are you spending a willpower?
Sure.
Okay. And what did we come up with?
3 successes.
Wow. You guys have got hot dice. You squirm into the ranger station, come over, and unlock the door for the rest of the group, I'm assuming.
Yep.
All right. You guys now have access. There are some firearms in here, like what Jacob was looking at. There's a lot of general survival gear and such.
I need to go and read phobia.
There's a lot of survival gear. There, rescue gear, some sets of clothing, flares, signaling gear, stuff like that. Basically, if you were trapped in an earthquake somewhere, this place would have a lot of stuff to survive it. If you were in a zombie apocalypse, this place would have a reasonable amount of stuff to survive in it.
Okay. Brandon, I'd like to point out, if the firearms, if the guns and such that they have start firing, my phobia is going to trigger.
So, what are you guys scrounging?
I am grabbing a rifle and a box of ammunition.
I don't know what that does. All I know is when that starts firing, I'm going to start wanting to run, unless that's got a silencer on it.
Yup.
Yep.
Maybe I'll take a rifle and another small arms or pistol or something. Plus ammo.
Okay.
Do you break them first and then shove them into your bag?
Maybe I'll use them first, see if they break, and then put them in my bag.
I'm going
What has this guy got? That looks good. Why'd you just break it? Now it fits. Now it fits.
I want to see if I can find any melee weapon that I would feel comfortable with that they happen to have. An axe would do for me.
Yeah, fireman's axe by all means.
Yeah, I'll grab an axe.
Now, you don't have a melee skill, so all those weapons feel pretty foreign to you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just going to stick with Krynos. Krynos works fine.
Otherwise, he's going to also grab a ranger's map of the local area, plus
you have
compass,
a very good map.
plus compass and an extra canteen for water. Something else I wanted to get.
A radio. That tells you might be helpful.
Yes, a radio and binoculars.
Brandon, this is really weird that I have to play dumb on all sorts of stuff, because I have a list of stuff I would pick up if I wasn't a dumb dog that doesn't know any human stuff.
If you play Lupus.
I would know rope, so I'm going to say I'm going to grab some rope. I have a bag that I can put it into that'll shift with me. I would know rope. I also know torches. So, but we're going to deal with a lot of fire. But what else would I know here? I would know rope.
Get some knives.
Yeah, some knives.
Do they have anything for like fire prevention?
For fire prevention, not at this. I mean, they've got like small scale stuff, but this is not a big ranger station. This is by all means a fairly small ranger station.
Fire extinguisher?
Yep.
So
I've got a question. So if you get a fire extinguisher and you break it, and then you throw it in your sack, and then you break it out, and you use trash as treasure, it doesn't use ammunition, right?
Right.
Right.
That's sweet.
I would have.
I can use it for sure the first time, and possibly many times more after.
So,
what's up, Alice?
Other than the rope and that's the other thing. I'm going to get something with wax. So either, if I can find candles or something like that, some basic things, because that's common in the area that I came from is the wax of certain water animals and such, so that I think I can find uses for as well. So I'm just going to grab those because I don't understand what they're grabbing, but I have, I'll grab stuff that I can understand.
That's fine. I mean, you've spent, probably a couple months being aware of more than being a wolf, but that's all is that it's been a couple months.
Right. And so. in the BFE of Alaska, being human, I'm not going to be dealing with a lot of technology like rifles or phones or stuff like that.
In Alaska you're not going to deal with rifles.
Okay, well, sure, maybe I will. So sure, rifle I've seen shot off, and I'm scared of it. I know that. Apparently, I know I'm scared of it, so I'm not touching that. So yeah, another thing, since I have a big bag with me that I can use, I am going to take some sheets and some blankets and put them into my bag. Because that I can help if we're finding a person on fire, or an animal on fire, we can help use that to put out the fire on them. So after I grab what I can, I'm going to basically perch myself at one of the windows, or the only window, and I'm going to be on watch and just listen and smell and hear for incoming.
Okay. I had a question. Oh, Alex, how much longer do we have you for?
It's probably wind up in not too long, maybe the next 20 minutes or so.
Okay. So we probably aren't going to get to a real fight, but we'll see if we can get to some sort of fight. That way we can at least play with that for anybody listening, as well as us.
Okie dokie.
It's always nice to be able to, claw something.
I'm having fun.
I'm glad. I hope that everybody's having fun.
Indeed.
Alex, being a shy character, is a little unlike him. He likes to talk in character. So, what is your guys' plan after you obviously ransack the ranger station?
With claws. I'd like to point out a bunch of us have claws, so we're leaving all sorts of weird marks, so it looks like wild animals have been through
I'm
here.
pretty sure the other two are in Hamid form.
Okay, well, I guess.
And I think you have to be at least Krynos to be able to start putting stuff into your sack.
True. Okay, so I'm in Krynos putting stuff in my sack, which means I'm leaving claw marks and barreling around like a wild animal has been in here. Because I've been told I need to be ready for a fight. That means I'm in Krynos form. And I'm going to be smelling and be on watch.
Krynos is probably even more awkward to you than being human.
Oh, okay.
Glabro is probably a form that you might go to naturally because you feel that it doesn't take away your power.
Right. But Krynos, right now, I know that Krynos makes me strong, and I want to be very strong right now for what we're about to deal with.
Cool. So what is your guys' plan going forward at this point?
I follow the alpha. This is my first fight.
Okay, Will, what's your plan then?
No. Okay. knowing that they take delight in attacking the Rangers and the Game Wardens, he wants to close this place up. But still have the lights on and leave like a radio so that even though the truck, the Jeep isn't here, it sounds like someone is here.
Okay.
So, and otherwise, he wants us to be in the woods around the area, ready to pounce on whomever comes for the Rangers. And we have guns. I am ready to blow people's heads off.
Bum. Okay.
Okay. Just writing a couple things down real quick.
Like I said, if we get a nice vantage point, that'll also give us a view of like the pipeline, because that's kind of where he's expecting them to come from. He's expecting maybe a survey. They would send out a survey team as an excuse for these guys to be in the area. So landing there with a helicopter or something, and then this is what he's anticipating them coming into the area as.
All right. By the ranger station, probably about a mile away, you guys have seen that there's a pretty good rock that would give vantage point, but that is about a mile away from the ranger station.
He will send Atna to be our scout.
Sure.
And informing her to come back when she sees anyone approaching our area.
Sure. Something, if I have been dealing with humans for a while in the type of area I'm in, do I see flares in this place? And
yes,
okay.
I specifically listed those.
Great. I'm going to grab a handful of flares. I would like to point out that they're kind of close to being fireworks and gunfire, but they're not loud. So, yeah, we'll see if I get scared of it. But I'm going to bring some flares with me.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to go and perch myself on top of that rock.
And what about Mr. Wallows as well as Pharaoh here?
Pharaoh is going to hide in the bush somewhere around the ranger station, because, like I said, this is where he's expecting them to attack.
Gotta say, Will Wallows is very good at wallowing.
And I cover myself in lots of mud, a la the Predator.
Okay.
I'll follow suit with Pharaoh and have some sort of camouflage.
And I cover Will in lots of mud, a la the Predator, because he stinks.
All right, Alice, go
Yes.
ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay.
Alertness perception.
Sure thing. Alertness perception. Alertness perception. I'd like to point out I'm farsighted, because this seems
That means you can't see things far away, or
No,
is that
it means
nearsighted,
my specialization of farsighted lets me see things far away very well. Is there any way to get a reroll in this game?
No.
Okay, I get 0.
That's why you spend willpower beforehand if you think that it's
I forgot about that. Well, I got 0 successes then because I rolled really badly. I got a 1 and an 8, so those cancel each other out. Oh wait, is it a DC 6? Because if it's DC 6, I still have 3 successes.
It is DC 6.
Okay, I still have 3 successes. So
Okay.
I have 3, 8, 6, 6, 6, 1, 4, 2, so the 8 and the 1 cancel out. I have 3 successes.
What were the 6s?
3 6s in a row.
And you have the sign of the beast. You said.
Shush,
I believe
leave
that's a
me alone.
flaw of yours.
Back it up. Yes, when I'm in human form, I've got a little fur around my wrist. Looks like really, specialized body modification to humans. I mean,
Hairy arms.
Yeah. Very
All right,
specialized body modification.
You are not certain who it is, but somebody is driving up that trail that leads back to where you left the rest of your pack.
Okay. I'm gonna circle around.
You can see the dust cloud basically coming up from behind.
Okay,
as it closes on them.
I'm gonna haul back to the ranger station and let them know that we have incoming.
Sure, go ahead and give me an athletics stamina.
Sure. Athletics is what you want. Can I use dexterity instead of stamina?
Nope.
Okay. I am going to use a willpower for this then, because I don't have much in the way of that.
Remember, you all, depending on what form you have more stamina.
That's true. I was looking at being in Krynos as we were talking about. So stamina.
Running around in Krynos is going to be very strange to you, by all means.
Okay. Well, then I would probably. You said that Glabro is okay.
Yeah, if you want to run around as human, I mean, you might be very comfortable like you have been in Lupus and Hispo.
Oh, true. In Lupus, I get +2 stamina as well.
Yep.
Hispo, I get 3 stamina. So yeah, I'll go with Hispo because I know that I'm going to be running around right now. So
yeah, Will is the only one that doing stuff in Krynos other than beating the crap out of something would feel natural, and that's because he spent years as that was his body, and that alone was his body.
So I won't bother with the.
I was born that way.
Cue Lady Gaga.
I won't bother with the willpower then. Woo. If it's a DC 7 or
7.
Okay. Well, I have 2 successes so far because my stamina is inspect, but I will get to explode. So I got a second success, so I got 3 successes.
Awesome. Okay, you are able to push through and basically put up with enough punishment that you are getting there just a little bit before the vehicle coming up the road, basically.
They're coming up the road. They're coming up the road.
All right.
I don't
Everyone
know if
ready?
it's a ranger though. It was a big puff of dust and a truck.
Can he get an eye on anything with his binocular?
Go. You're welcome to take a look with that. It's going to be, you guys, don't have the greatest view on the access road.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and make that a difficulty 8 for you at this point.
And I'm going to stick with being Hispo at this point for combats. That seems like since that's comfortable for me. And
it feels big and a little gangly to you, but you can feel all sorts of power rippling through, and it's very close to what you're used to.
Okay.
Well, rolling 2 10s, I rolled another 10, which gave me another 10. So 4 10s.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
And that ended up with a 7. So I got 4 10s.
You see a Jeep rolling up the way that has 3 guys that look like they are workers in it. The Jeep is obviously very different than the Ranger Jeep.
Do they look like the guys that I'm familiar with?
You don't see the bug eyes or the fangs or anything like that, but they look pretty similar to that. To what you saw in the Ghost Eyes.
All right. Once he gets an eye on the Jeep, he'll it's not the Ranger, it's them. Everyone get ready. He checks his gun, make sure it's loaded, safety off. He's ready to open fire once he gets a clear shot.
Okay.
I'm getting myself ready.
Point the gun in the same direction.
Okay.
I'm trying my best to gird myself here.
So you do know what the guns are going to do?
Yep, because like you said, it's gonna be gun country. I'm girding myself. Don't run away. Don't run away when they fire. Don't run away when they
All right.
fire.
So, the Will and Pharaoh, you guys by all means can get the drop on the people who are coming.
Okay, what do I roll to not run away when they start firing?
Go look up your phobia.
I did. It doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to roll. You have an overwhelming fear of something. Spiders, snakes, crowds, and heights, for example, are of common phobias. If you have a mild phobia, which is what I took, you must make a willpower roll every time you encounter the object of your fear. The difficulty of the roll is determined by the storyteller and based on the circumstances of the encounter. You must make at least 3 successes in order to approach the object of your fear or deal with the fearful situation. Oh, well, I'm not approaching the gun. I'm not approaching the gunfire. So, if you fail the roll, you must run away. The 3-point version of the... Yeah, I only took 2.
So if you fail, you're going to have to run away?
Yep, from the gunfire sound.
Okay. So, you being right next to your allies, as all of a sudden gunshots start going off.
Yep.
You are going to have to make a willpower of DC 7, let's say.
Okay, I only have 3 willpower, and I don't...
I'm not the one that made the character.
I know.
This sounds like a personal problem.
Yep. So, let's roll it. What was the DC?
7.
Okay, 3d10. Hey! I did it! Well, maybe. Hold on, I have 2 10s. Hold on. I have 2 10s. I did it! I got 4 successes! Well, yeah, because there's no specialty, so I got 4 successes. I girded myself well.
Okay.
I'm okay in this gunfight. I know it's for a purpose. They're not just shooting. See, I figured gunfire was a good one because, the hunting with the guns and all that, so, animals getting shot down. They're not shooting at me. I'm okay.
The two of you notice that Atna is making water.
Hey, I didn't run away.
Yes!
I know. They're not shooting at me.
And then, darn it, I had this chapter,
That's
chart
cool.
earlier.
I was 10, 6, 10, and then 8, 8 was the follow-up.
And...
Yay.
Boy, I wish I had the physical book here. I know how to get around the werewolf book.
Where is it? Isn't it on the
What do you
shelf
mean?
behind you?
We don't have a 20th anniversary werewolf book for some reason.
Oh.
I am very saddened by this.
Yeah, that sounds like a weird hole in our collection. I mean, if it was like the Changeling book, I understand, because you got the leather on the shelf and you don't want to open it, and, yeah. I get that. So you're stuck with the
I refuse to open the Changeling book that you got me.
I'm sorry, I wanted to get you super special, so I got you the leather bound.
You did, and therefore it will remain in its wrap because it is super special.
At least I'm a pretty awesome gift giver.
What I am looking for to anybody else who wants to is the chart on the DC per dependent on weapon. And I'm trying to scroll through and find that.
I was recently looking at it before. By the way, you know about the bookmark section, right?
It is so long and ungainly that it is really hard to navigate through.
They have difficulties for melee weapons, but they don't have difficulties for ranged weapons.
Oh, okay, so...
Firearms is page 130 and 290.
I'm on the chart at this point.
Page 130, 290 would be the thing, and then 270 would be another page you need. So 130, 290, and 270 are the pages you need.
So you guys are using rifles. They are 8 damage. They have a 200 range, a rate of 1, a clip of 5+1 in the chamber. They are not concealable.
He wasn't planning on concealing. He was just planning on opening fire.
I'm just telling you what's there. They're like from 6 miles away. Hey, there's guys with rifles up there. We ain't going anywhere near there.
We are concealing ourselves in the brush, however.
Storytelling. Now what I'm looking for is the difficulty of shooting. I'm assuming it's a 6 at that point. If they don't have any listing, it's just the melee weapons that get the list. Do you remember, Jacob?
I haven't been able to find a difficulty anywhere, so I'm going to assume, sure, I'll go with a 6.
That's just book 3. Dramatic systems. I think that's what I'm looking for. Climbing, feats of strength, jumping, long running, pursuit, repair, sensing, shadowing, sneaking, stunt driving. Okay, this didn't deal with fight at all. Not social, not mental. Shape changing, combat. Okay. Dice pool.
See, this is for one reason why I was enjoying the new edition of World of Darkness, because the difficulty is always the same number.
Mm-hmm.
It's always 8 up. You don't have to remember all these different 6 up, 8 up, 9 ups, 7 ups. Yeah, make 7 up yours.
I love that.
Now, they're not paying us. No reason to give them free advertising.
No, but you didn't. Never mind. You didn't hear where my pause was. Where is it? I don't see it either, Brandon. So make it up.
I'm assuming it's the difficulty of 6 then.
Cool.
Okay, if that's the case, I got tons of successes here.
Awesome.
What are
Roll
you
up.
shooting?
When they stop, I am shooting the driver through the window. But yeah, once the Jeep stops, aim, window, pull the trigger.
Alex, what about you?
Alex?
Will Wallows. His camera's frozen, to me at least.
Yep,
Alex
looks frozen to
died.
me.
Yeah,
Alex died.
Alex is gone.
That's kind of.
Ah, there he is. His
Alex is
connection
currently
just died.
catching up.
It's lagging.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Shooting at the first guy I can see.
Okay. So that's going to be this guy, and that's going to be this guy. All right. So, Jacob, how many successes did you end up with?
All of them.
Really
6.
wrong, by the way.
What's that? If you're shooting him with that rifle, it would be a dexterity firearms skill.
I got 6 successes, having rolled an 8, a 6, an 8. 2 8s, a 6, a 7, and a 10, which exploded into another 6.
Oh, nice.
That is pretty sweet.
I got a 10, a 9, and 2 1s, and the reroll didn't help.
With enlisted Adjusted range in yards difficulty is 6. At twice the range difficulty is 8. Within 2 yards difficulty is 4. Maximum number of bullets or 3-round burst the gun can fire in a single turn.
Gotcha. Awesome. Way to go, Alice.
You're welcome. It is page 303. It is actually at the bottom of a bunch of the guns chart. So if you went to the rifle chart, which, you know, the Remington M700, if you went to the bottom of that chart where all the asterisks and bonus info is, it tells you right there, range within range of yards, difficulty is 6, etc. So we were correct.
Right.
6 was right.
So, Alex, you had 0 successes, it sounds like. So Alex is, fires his rifle, and he, hits the Jeep. So the bullet skids along the roof of it. And he's like, I'm used to using broken stuff. This stuff that's not broken yet, it just doesn't aim right.
Yes, exactly.
Jacob, on the other hand, does hit with 5 bonus successes on the shot. So he is going to get to go ahead and roll 13 damage dice.
Wow.
If I remember this correctly, because that was a damage of 8.
I see a head exploding in our
I
picture.
didn't bring that many dice out.
Look at Jacob's happy face. Jacob's happy face.
Alice, on that chart, does it tell you what the... I think it's just a 6 on damage.
As far as I can tell, it says... Yeah, so DC is 6. Damage... Yep. It matches the same as the range, I think it looks like. So it's 6 up on damage, as far as I can tell. So, how much damage did Jacob just do? Tell me.
On 13 dice, I did 6 damage.
Okay.
That's
so
not
now he
bad.
will take his soak roll. And...
No head exploded, though, it sounds like.
You did how much?
6.
6. Okay. The bullet blasts through the windshield, spider webbing the windshield in its entirety, sinks into the guy that is in the driver's seat, and you guys can see blood welling up on his uniform. At this point, why doesn't everybody go ahead and add their wits to their dexterity? So whatever that take as a number, not as a die, grab 1d10 and toss it.
Sure thing.
I will total a 12.
I
Got 10.
Wits plus dex, you said?
Yeah. 10
I got
is
16.
Will. 16 is Atna. 12 is Pharaoh. I think you guys beat the crud out of all my guys. Alice, do you want to go look at how we tie break?
Sure. That should be. I'm looking while you're...
And which one was that?
Is it called initiative in this game, or is it called something else? I forget.
I think so.
Okay.
The tie break won't come up until Will's action, so
Sure, let's
I
start
can
this
look
up.
for it, Alice.
No,
it is
you adjudicate first.
your action.
Okay. My action. I am going to haul out of the place where I was set up to ambush the truck, the Jeep or truck or whatever it is, and I'm going to go jump onto the bed of the truck and start tearing at
It's
one of
a
them.
Jeep,
Sure. I'm going to jump into that open top of the Jeep, that open...
not an open top.
Oh, okay. Fine. I'm going to charge up, grab one of them out of an open window, and start bashing him against the unopened, I'm going to yank one out of the truck and start shredding him. Or start
Okay.
beating him up.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't need to declare yet, because we're doing initiative. So I'm on initiative.
So the lowest initiative declares and the top initiative acts.
Yeah. The character
I'm
with the highest
fastest.
initiative. Yes. The storyteller handles initiative for each of his characters too. Ties are resolved by using the highest initiative rating. So, Will is... Okay. I have an 8, Will. What do you got for the number you're adding to the D10?
Yeah, it's 7.
7? Okay.
Man, and I felt like I had a good mod. I mean, I'm a 7, but you guys are like high.
Alright.
Says me, who also had 7.
Yeah, I have a +7. I have a wits of 3 and a dex of 4. So
Okay.
apparently I should have bought more decks.
So, the passenger is going to get out of the Jeep, and scramble for some cover, is their plan. Will, what is your plan?
Shift into Krynos form.
Okay. You can do it with a rage point instantaneously if you'd like. If not, you will roll a Primal Urge stamina, I believe. And you need to come up with, I think, 2 successes on it to shift to Krynos.
I'll spend the rage, and then, so if that's instant, then I can go after that guy.
Okay. That guy will still be in the Jeep by the time you act. So you guys, the passenger side is 2, you guys, just so you know. The driver is intending to get out of the vehicle and use it for cover. The back seat is similarly going to get out of the vehicle and use it for cover. Pharaoh,
you're not talking.
Pharaoh is going to spread the love and shoot the passenger.
Okay. And Atna, it is your action.
Okay, I'm gonna haul out as the door of the passenger door is opening, but he hasn't gotten out yet. I am gonna haul out, grab the passenger out, and beat on his face.
Okay.
Says the mage. Says the mage.
So you are planning on biting him?
Yes, I am.
So I gave you a page earlier. Are you still there?
Nope.
Do you remember what page I gave you earlier?
Nope, I do not.
Okay.
It's also on the character sheet.
It is 298. Oh, is it on the character sheet?
Yep.
Awesome. Yep. So, a bite is the most basic attack utilized by creatures. Guru vampires inflict aggravated with their damage, while other creatures just inflict lethal. At storyteller's option, Glabro form Guru may bite a target at difficulty 8, inflicting strength -1 in lethal damage. You are not
I'm in Hispo.
man.
Hispo right now is +3 strength, +2 dex, +3 stamina, -3 manipulation.
I don't need to know your stats.
Okay, +1 die for bite damage.
This is a dexterity plus brawl roll.
Okay, I'm very good at dex. Brawl, not so much.
It is not going to be a difficulty 5 because he's going to have cover. I'm going to move it up to a 7.
Okay, sure thing. I can.
As you're trying to grab onto a small portion of him.
Sure, I've got 2 brawl and I've got 4 dex. So let's roll 6 dice. And you said difficulty 7?
Yes.
That's a botch. For anyone watching this that doesn't know what a botch means, if you roll no successes and you get 1s on top of that, that becomes a critical failure, aka a botch in this game. As you guys were hearing earlier, if you roll a success and you roll a 1, for every success and a 1 that you roll, the 1 cancels out the success, and then additional successes after that count. But I have no successes and I've got 2 1s. I've botched. Apparently, I slip on my own the water that I made, Brandon.
I'm just reading through bots real quick.
Sure thing. 315614. I botched. But in regards, while we're waiting for that, in regards to the new World of Darkness system, Jacob, that system sounds cool. My problem big time. Well, when I was attempting to play the new WoD, my issues were with the changes in the lore and the world versus the playing in the old setting is my preference.
Well, yeah, they changed the lore to make it more open, so you didn't have to be their vampires. You didn't have to be their werewolves. They left those options open so you could still play those kind of characters, but they wanted to make it more open to just playing werewolves and vampires and changelings, whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I think the problem became that the two games that I was going to sign up for on Roll20 both kind of wanted to play vampires out of sparkly vampires and those types of things, which were not what I was, accustomed to playing in White Wolf. So.
Sparkly vampires must die.
So, yeah, they wanted to play Twilight games, and I'm like,
Hi, Alice. I gave him a free attack with the door on you. Basically, you running
Ow.
into it as he was opening it. He ended up with no successes, so
Good.
you simply bashed into the door as it's opening.
Rip the
but
door
have
up
not
its hinges.
specifically hurt yourself through that.
Okay, cool.
So, next, Pharaoh.
I shoot the passenger who has just opened the door. Okay, I got a 7 and 2 10s. The 2 10s exploded into 8s, so
That's where all
5
my good
successes.
dice karma went. Jacob stole it. Jacob, you're stealing all the good rolls.
Alright,
I'm not sorry.
using his cover, he is able to drop one of those successes off, but that's all, as he's using cover. Okay. So go ahead and add 8 to whatever remaining successes beyond 1 you had, and roll that for damage. What do we got, Jacob?
With a 1 taking away one of my successes, I get 4.
4. Unlike the other one that you just had some blood welling up, you get a major hit. You rip into the guy's flesh that is in the passenger seat, and you literally blow his left arm off of his body. Okay. Then, after Pharaoh, we're going to go to some of my guys. So... Oh, that's not on you, that's on the other guy. The guy in the back is going to duck out, getting the Jeep between them. Between you guys, the guy in the driver's seat is going to duck, getting the Jeep between you guys. Will, it is your action. You spend a rage, you were saying.
Yep. I was going to shift into Krynos form and run that and try to attack the guy in the passenger side.
The one guy that's left still in the car.
The one that just threw his door at me.
Well, no, he was opening the door, basically. You botched.
I botched. I botched and ran into the door. My fault.
Okay. So, you quickly, your body rushing with power of your natural form, you rush forward at the individual, and you can go ahead. Are you clawing him or what?
Sure.
Okay. So your claw is a Dex plus Brawl at a difficulty 6. He's got some cover, but your Krynos form is going to be able to rip through a lot of that. So I'm just going to up the difficulty by 1. So it's a difficulty 7.
Or +1 Dex, right, for a Krynos form?
That's correct. and you still have in your Krynos, you are a very manipulative werewolf.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot.
And I only got 1 success out of 7.
I rolled the wrong stats. I rolled my base stats and I forgot to add my my Hispo form. I might not have
Your 2
botched.
decks.
Yeah, I might not
Might
have
not
botched.
have. Alright, Alex, that is enough to hit him. So go ahead and take your strength of, you get 4 for Krynos, and you've got 2 naturally, so you've got a strength of 6. Add 2 more dice to it because you're using claws. So that's 8, and go ahead and throw those against a difficulty of 6.
And I forgot that for my initiative too. I should have remembered that. Oh well, I'm already top. Live and learn.
I got 3 10s, and then an 8, 9, 6.
So 6 damage so far.
10s produce 2 more 6s.
So 8 damage. Alright, Alex, this guy who's gotten his arm blown off, all 3 of you attacked the poor same guy. Not that I fault you, but this guy who's got his arm blown off, you get up there and you smell that blood, but you also smell this kind of like oily ichor substance or something. And as you rip into him, you notice that there's these tentacles that are popping out from that left sleeve.
Where the arm was
where
chopped
the
off.
arm, once was. Alex, you rip in, just going right through the support that separates the window from the windshield. You rip into that. The guy there, his head comes clean off under the assault that you deliver. The tentacles at that point rapidly sprout from his arm and just start thrashing around, ripping up the cabin of the Jeep. There's nobody else left in the cabin, so it's not going to affect them, and it is his left arm, so it's not going to affect you. But they seem to be going wild all of a sudden now that you have decapitated this individual. After Will Wallows, it's the dead dot guy. So everybody go ahead and do the same thing. Go ahead and Dex plus Wits, roll a d10.
Okay.
So at 10. Keep rolling 3s.
And actually, Alex, he did have one thing because you did that. As you rip into him, his blood literally burns on you. I have got 4 successes with a 10, 5 successes on damage as his blood burns you. You are welcome to go ahead and resist that with your stamina.
So plus 3 stamina for being in Krynos form, and
8 dice.
It's just so great, so I get plus 1 for having a tough hide.
Yes, it is.
I only have a 14 for this coming round.
Difficulty 6?
Yes.
5 successes, 2 1s, so 3 successes.
Okay, and so that's 2 points of damage that you take. So you go ahead, and these are actually aggravated damage. So on your character sheet, if you've got a printed character sheet, you would go ahead and make an asterisk, basically. So it's 1 line left to right, 1 line right to left, and then 1 line top to bottom. Because that is a very hard level of damage to heal as his blood burns you for ripping into him. 2 things. First of all, when Alex actually did 2 actions. Changing to Krynos is not an action, but running up, and Alice, I should have done the same thing to you. Running up is an action, and so you guys should have been splitting your dice pools. But now I can ask, before we actually go to the next round, does anybody want to burn Rage to continue to do stuff?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
And if you're using a PDF for your for character sheet tracking, the form fillable does.
Alice, you stop transmitting.
And if you are using the form fillable PDF character sheet,
okay, there you go.
You can select, because they do have the slash and then the X and then the asterisk as the 3 options.
Oh, that's cool. All right, so Pharaoh, what is your initiative?
Pharaoh got an 11.
Okay, Pharaoh, you are. I have a 7 modifier. How do you go, Fair?
I have a 6 modifier.
Okay. Will.
I had 10.
You added all that. You added some
wait.
dexterity and.
That would be 11.
Okay, so I have a 7 modifier. Where are you?
So with that plus 1, I'm 8.
8. Okay, so Will. And Atna?
I'm only at a 14 this round. I have a modifier of 9. I
Okay,
actually
I
remembered
don't care
before.
on that, but you're not tying, so I don't need to know. All right. The driver. Pardon me. The driver. Actually. Pharaoh. What is your action going to be?
He's going to shoot at the driver.
Okay. Currently, as you're deciding what to do, the driver is hidden behind a vehicle.
That's nice. Cars are soft cover.
Okay. Then I have this guy. One of the guys is planning on moving and attacking. Will, what about you?
I also plan on moving and attacking.
Okay. Atna?
I'm going to be moving and attacking. Well, I'm going to be attacking because, they're
You have
pretty
nobody
much
in melee range.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will move and attack.
Okay. And the last guy, he is simply going to spit. So, my guy is the driver bleeding from where he was shot. Stands up from behind the vehicle, still using some cover from it, and seeing the Krynos werewolf. Let's go ahead and pick him as a target. This guy no longer looks just human. Instead, he has these spider-like eyes, and then smaller spider eyes that are above them and all. He has mandibles coming out of his mouth and such. It is very obvious that he looks like some sort of fiendish worm-tainted creature at this point, having shed whatever holds a disguise together on him. So he is going to go ahead and shoot at our Krynos Will. So you can, as far as I remember, you can take defensive actions. They are just going to increase the number of actions that you're taking during a round. The guy that got his arm blown off, the first time you guys shot, they couldn't. They were unaware. The second time he was trying to dodge, I said it was basically trying to take cover, and gave him an increased difficulty of it. But you can normally dodge, you can normally block, or you can normally parry. This being an attack that two of those options wouldn't really be appropriate, you can dodge. And parrying uses a weapon, blocking just uses your unarmed, if you would like, but it does increase the number of actions you're taking in the round. Do you wish to dodge, Will?
Sure.
Okay, so you put together your dexterity plus your athletics roll. You, at that point, are taking 3 actions. So knock 3 dice off of it, and this is your first action of the round. Every success on we're going to call this a difficulty. Melee is easy to dodge. It's difficulty 5. Firearms are hard. They're, if they're close range, they're 9 or 10. We're going to go ahead and call this a 7. He is ranged attacking you, but it's nowhere near as fast as a firearm. We're going to call it a 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 successes. How did you do on your dodge, Will?
I got 2.
2. So he is down to 3 successes. He spits out this thick, sticky webbing at you. And so he, instead of doing damage, he's got 5. That's a really good roll. He's got 6. All of a sudden, you find yourself encased in this web-like substance that he spat at you. And it is basically tying you up to parts of the broken Jeep and such. With your Krynos muscles, you can probably rip through it, but it might take you some time. Atna.
Okay. Atna is going to move and attack the one of the ones that are outside the Jeep taking cover.
Okay.
So
the one that came up spitting, or the other one?
The other one.
Okay.
Unless whichever one is closer, basically. So I have to split.
Are you circling around the front or the back?
The front, sure.
Okay, so it's the guy that just spit.
Sure. So I have to split my action because I have to move, you said?
Yeah, so that's going to be 2 dice off because it's 2 actions, and then 1 more die because this is your second action of them.
Okay, so that goes down to 5 dice. Let's roll it. Well, I got 2 successes. No botch. No ones.
All right. So go ahead and you're biting him again?
Yes. Oh, and actually I get a +1 die on damage because I'm biting.
So you got 2 successes, so you get an extra die for number of successes, an extra die for the fact that you're biting in this form. Your bite is normally an extra die, so that's 3 extra die on top of your strength. And you get 3 bonus strength for the form.
Yep.
So you've got 5 strength, 8 dice.
Great. Ooh, nice. I believe it's 5 ups for bites, correct?
No, it's always a 6 on damage.
Oh, okay. Then I get only 7 successes.
Okay. That's pretty brutal. So
yeah.
he soaks
at that point
very well. 1, 2.
Oh wait, no, yeah, 7. Yep.
All right, he soaks very well, but that still means that you literally run up to him, jump on him, and start biting at this guy. He is feebly spitting webs, but they're not a solid stream like they were at will just a second ago. As you are disemboweling him with your jaws,
okay.
The rush of warm blood flowing into your mouth hits your adrenaline and gets your heart pumping. Then after Will, we have you next to the vehicle.
So I was planning to move, but guess now I have to break out of some webbing.
Yes. So you can just brute strength through that if you want, or you could probably use Rat Head to get you out.
Sure, let's use the Rat Head.
Alright, so I think that costs you a Gnosis, or...
Yeah, costs a Gnosis.
So, yeah, Pharaoh, you're the only one that still really has sight of this. Will, all of a sudden, caught in webbing, stuck, and then he just kind of like drops his form, and he just slips right out of that sticky webbing.
See, the little pup is a butterfly.
And then you could still move over towards the guy at that point and attack if you'd like.
Sure. So I'd be circling around the back, I think. So that would bring me up on the other guy.
Yep. So this one, we're going to go ahead and say, if I remember it correctly, you're going to be at the -3 because of actions, and then -5 because it's your third action. I think that's right.
Let's see if I have any dice left. It's a -5 total.
Yeah.
Two successes.
2 successes?
On 3 dice.
Very good. He is going to try and parry you off. Oh, Let me clear out the old dice from the dice tray. And because he rolled 2 1s, he reduces you to 1 success only, because he still has 1 success remaining. But that is still a hit. So was this a claw again, Alex?
Yep.
So that's 6 strength, and then +2 because it's claws, so 8 damage. As you close in on this guy, you can see that he has these fangs growing out of his mouth. He has gotten scaly as in the time that he's been back here. So each one of these guys definitely looks like something hideous and worm spawn that I think Pharaoh mentioned to you guys.
So I got 2 10s, which lets me reroll the 2 that weren't successes, giving me a total of 8 successes.
Oh, man. 8 successes. 1, 2. He got a good roll. That's 4, so that's still 4 points of damage, which brings him to wounded. Jacob, oh, it's this guy. So he is going to lash back at you. He did parry you, so he is going to be at a reduced die pool because of that. There we go. That cancels that out. 1 more die to roll. And he is trying to bite you. Difficulty is 5. He ends up with 4 successes on a bite. 3 successes because of the 1. So, damage. 4. Alex, go ahead and roll your stamina.
So soak is not affected by a number of actions, right?
No. And he has 3 successes of aggravated damage on you.
I got 3 successes.
Okay, he bites into you, and you probably let out a yowl of pain, but nothing really is affecting you more than just the pain of it.
Oh, so he bit me. Does he want to spend a willpower or spend the rest of the scene uncontrollably retching?
He will, because I totally forgot his wounded penalty of -2 dice as well. He will spend the rest of the scene retching.
Because
as
he tastes disgusting.
Yeah, he sinks his fangs into you, and then all of a sudden, immediately, barely breaks the skin on you. I mean, it's like paper cuts from his fangs, and all of a sudden just falls to the ground, vomiting, and it's this similar black ichor-like goo that is just coming out of his mouth. Pharaoh, you are the last one. That's funny that you picked the guy who's going to bite people to go after. Pharaoh, you are the last one to go. You have a giant hispo wolf on your target, and the other guy, you're not really certain where he is, but you can hear sounds of retching.
Well, if he has no clear target, he's not going to take the shot because he's better trained than that. Are the tentacle guy in the car still thrashing?
They are definitely slowing down and such and not being so violent, but the inside of that car got destroyed in his death throes, basically.
Okay, so changing my action, I am going to start stripping, getting ready to change to Krynos.
Alright, and that's pretty much the fight, because you guys have got one guy left, but he's at a -2 die pool. And the guys that I was putting you up against are reasonably combat effective, but as I'm certain you can see, werewolves rip stuff apart when they decide to fight, which is the reason
Even
that werewolf is not supposed to be about the game where you just go out and destroy things, because that shouldn't be that challenging to you.
Mm-hmm.
and but it is fun.
It is about
That it is.
it is about investigation and role playing and such, which we did a lot of.
Yeah.
So
So I thank you guys for coming. Alex, I know you're about to go, but I'd love some thoughts on what you guys thought of the system and such like that, even though I know I'm fumbling through it at this point because I haven't played White Wolf really in about 20 years, other than a couple games here and there.
No, it's pretty old hat for standard World of Darkness. Like, much like yourself, I haven't played it in a couple of decades, but it still feels very much like how I remember it.
So, well, Alex, since you have to run first, why don't you give us some feedback, and then if you need to run, we can close up without you.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of just lore and things to tap into. I think just D10 dice pools is, getting to roll a lot of dice. That's always fun, and especially when you have exploding dice too. So I think that makes a good game. Yeah, definitely. Just kind of a lot to take in. So it's maybe a steep learning curve jumping in. But yeah, thanks for a fun game.
Cool.
I'm glad that you liked it. What about you, Alice?
I did not find it to be a steep learning curve, only because I have dealt with enough White Wolf over the years, so it's old hat for me as well. You've gotten me over the phobia of werewolf because we've had a couple of really bad werewolf experiences that I've gotten, but you got me over it. So I look forward to playing again. I want to play it again, just with the awesome people. Please.
I had a great time running for everybody. Jacob, I mean, from your experiences, like the story itself, that's a fairly standard experience on that.
It's a pretty standard experience. The worm is doing something. We go there. We investigate to find out what is going on and what we can do to stop it, and if necessary, beat up bad guys. But ultimately, it's about stopping. Yeah, ultimately, it is about stopping the bad thing from happening.
And save good guys without revealing ourselves whenever possible. That's a big deal of it.
That by all means is a choice. If you guys had a red talon in the pack, they might have lobbied for just leave the ranger in there, and therefore we know where they are, and so therefore, the guys will come, and after they kill him, then we can figure out, hey, they're the bad guys, and we'll kill them. Some red talons might be like, we can interfere before then.
Yeah, and that's why
we're the good guys.
Yep. Tell the red talon to shut it, and he's outvoted.
But as long as you have a strong pack leader, he'll listen to that.
Yep.
But yeah, the guys were, I've had them pretty reasonably combat trained. That their soak pools were between 4 for the weakest and 7 for the strongest on soak, and they were generally throwing about 7 dice for their attacks, depending on which guy it was. So not slouches, but then you have this werewolf run up to you. And Alex, one thing I think I forgot on you, just like I forgot on my bad guy, you took 2 damage from I think the acid, and so that should have given you a -1 to your die pool. But yeah, that's what it's more supposed to be, Alice, based on the bad stories.
That's much better. That's much better, rather than going in and slaughtering a bunch of innocent people and doing going into pack versus pack wars of shredding each other up, or versus that.
And I had so much other stuff just based on the character creation that we did that I was interested in running, because I really wanted to get into some of the social of Jacob coming into a cairn and being recognized, and some people being you're not worthy of the weapon, trying to take it from them. Will getting crapped because he has the trifecta of screwed that he picked, stuff like that.
Why did I get put in this pack? I seem the more normal one of the bunch. I seem like the purebred in this group here.
No, Jacob's pure. Remember,
four dots of pure breed.
That's true. Okay, fine.
And that can make a lot of people like him and respect him, like he was recognized by Silver, or hate him and just say, hey, if I beat that guy up, people will respect me. or he's not worthy of being that purebred.
Yep.
And so you're the Goldilocks of the group. This wolf is just right. Where
I'm the just right. Why did I end up with this weird pack?
People try to beat you up for respect. They just try to beat me up for nothing.
But yeah, you got me over the phobia. I'm totally game for playing more Werewolf because the few games of Werewolf that I've played in the past have been very bad experiences. But I've played a lot of other White Wolf games, as you well know. So it's old hat on the system. It's the
and engines. The pack versus pack, I think, is actually a really good story. But that shouldn't be your first story by any means.
It should also not be immediately go to shredding people in a first fight. And the in media res, you're going to start with a fight. It just turned me off.
Yeah. So thank you guys for coming. I had a great time running. I would by all means love to run more.
Yes, please.
There's so many games on the shelf that I want to run.
Yep.
So
same here.
Vampire, Mage, and Changeling are definitely in that list as well.
Sometime.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
We will catch you all later. Alice, you want to sign us off?
Thank you for listening and watching Babies with Knives tonight, and please make sure you subscribe and tell us what you want to see us play next. We've got lots of games on our shelves. Lots. Bye.
Adios.